a study to assess the broader social and economic impact of gambling in Kenya.
Now. So we'll proceed with the business for the afternoon. Clerk, kindly call the first order, please.
Order number 1, administration of oath. Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable Senators, I would like to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting teachers and students from Bright Light Preparatory School in Kajiado County. The delegation comprises 6 teachers and 47 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming visitors to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to the delegation, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf wish them a fruitful visit. Also, I'd wish to acknowledge the presence in the public gallery this afternoon of visiting lecturers and students from Sacred Heart University, United States of America. The delegation comprises 3 teachers and 7 students who are in the Senate for a one-day academic exposition. In our usual tradition of receiving and welcoming guests to Parliament, I extend a warm welcome to them, and on behalf of the Senate and my own behalf wish them a fruitful visit. I will call upon the Senator for Kajiado County, Senator Seki, to extend a word of welcome, to welcome the delegation for Kajiado County, that to be done under 1 minute, and thereafter I will call upon the Deputy Minority Leader to also extend a word welcome to welcome the delegation from the United States of America, in that order.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to join you to thank the students and teachers from Bright Light Academy in Kajiado County. Want to congratulate you for finding time to be with us here. This is the Senate of Kenya. It's a parliament where we deliberate issues concerning counties and national issues. I want to welcome you and inform you that in this Senate we have 3 senators coming from Kajiado. Senator Seki is the elected senator, and my sister Peris Tobiko, who is also a senator here, nominated, and Mheshimiwa Mondet, who is also a senator for this great county of Kajiado. So let me, Speaker, request Mheshimiwa Peris Tobiko just a 1 minute to say hi to these bright students of this Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Senator Peris, because you're already on your feet, I will allow you.
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you, Senator Seki. And because Senator Seki had been given 1 minute and he was gracious enough, let me just welcome the students and teachers from Bright Light School in Kajiado. Kajiado is the home of all Kenyans. In Kajiado, we host all Kenyans, and we have very good academic facilities in Kajiado. And I know this school and many others are going to produce leaders of the future and professionals in this country that will bring value to our country. Thank you very much and feel most welcome.
Thank you, the Speaker. The Speaker, I also want to join you, and on behalf of my colleagues in the Senate, extend a warm welcome to the visiting delegation from the USA. The Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt and to clear the mind of the chairman of my committee on roads and transportation, he is wondering why the Deputy Minority Leader should be the one to invite to welcome the delegation from the US. The Speaker, for the record, yours truly went to school in the US. I studied at Smith College in Massachusetts between 2007 and 2008, fully sponsored by the school and seconded for the studies by the Nation Media Group. I've told my colleague Eddie many, many times that I'm a good journalist, a journalist of good and long standing, that I had to win that scholarship to study in the US. So, Speaker, having said that, I want to welcome the delegation from the US and tell them under the 2010 Constitution of Kenya, we have a bicameral parliament, we have a Senate and a National Assembly. This is the Senate of the Republic of Kenya. In the spirit and the word of the Constitution, this is actually the upper house of the bicameral parliament of Kenya. So we welcome you to follow the proceedings in this chamber, and we wish you a fruitful visit in your stay in Kenya. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages. Order number 4, petitions. Order number 5, papers. Order number 6, notices of motion.
Senator for Kiambu County, the Honorable Senator Karungo Wathangwa. That business is deferred. Next order.
Order number 7, questions and statements.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 53-1, the Senator for Kisii County, the Honorable Richard Onyonka. That statement is dropped. The Senator for Wajir County, the Honorable Abbas Sheikh Mohammed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 531 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee of Land, Environment, and Natural Resources on the matter of county-wide concern regarding the illegal dumping of hazardous waste at Wajir County dam site, which has resulted in a severe environmental degradation and a threat to public health. Honorable Speaker, the dam site has been a long-standing source of public concern, who continue to suffer the effects of mismanagement waste disposal, including improper handling of hazardous and medical waste. In 2020, the Senate received a petition by Wajir residents seeking intervention. The responsible committee processed the petition and tabled a report which recommended environmental restoration and the protection of the rights of the affected communities. Honorable Speaker, Wajir municipality depends on shallow wells as a source of water. And that the water is also high table. And any mismanagement of sewage, sewage or any hazardous waste normally filters into the wells. There is no proper sewage system. The sewers are not there, and therefore most of the wells are polluted and has already been confirmed with a high E. coli presence. Honorable Speaker, in the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the nature, type, and source of waste materials currently dumped at the Wajir County dump site, including confirmation of whether any hazardous or medical waste continues to be disposed at the site. 2, the implementation of setters of regulations made by the Senate following the tabling of the petition report on 1st December 2020, and the specific steps taken by Wajir County government in response. 3, the environmental and public health hazards posed by continued dumping at the site, including impact on soil, water source, local ecosystem, and pastoral livelihoods. 4, the measures being undertaken by NEMA and other relevant agencies to enforce environmental regulations, prevent further contamination, and protect the rights of residents. 5, the immediate and long-term actions proposed to restore the environment, to relocate the dam site to a safer location, and provide redress of compensation to affected residents in line with the ruling of the Environmental and Land Court sitting in Garissa, Court number ELC petition number 10 of 2020, dated 27th November 2020. Honorable Speaker, that is my statement, and I beg to request the committee to take action. Thank you so much.
The Senator from Busia County, Senator Andrew Mtata.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I rise pursuant to Standing Order 53, brackets 1, to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of countrywide concern regarding the shooting and killing of residents at Angata Barikoi by police officers. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Monday, 28 April 2025, 5 people, including a 6-year-old child, were killed following an attempt by officials from the Ministry of Lands to begin a land adjudication process in Moi adjudication scheme in Transmara. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1, the circumstances that led to the use of live bullets resulting in the shooting and killing of 5 residents of Angata Barikoi and leaving many others injured during a protest over land demarcation. 2, the identity of the rightful owners of the land in question, as well as the measures in place to address the long-standing disputes over the land. 3, the reasons behind the decision to demarcate the land and evict residents despite a valid court order restraining such actions until the matter is fully heard and determined, providing details on who ordered the demarcation and whether the community was consulted or involved. 4, status of investigations conducted by the Independent Policing Oversight Authority, brackets IPOA, into the incident, including steps taken to hold accountable the officers responsible for opening fire on unarmed residents of Angata Barikoi. Plans in place to compensate the affected families for the deaths and injuries, as well as reimbursement of burial expenses. Andrew Mtata, Senator from Busia of the Republic of Kenya. Thank you.
Statement pursuant to Standing Order 57-1. The Senate Majority Leader. We'll get there.
Mr. Speaker, sir, pursuant to Standing Order 57-1, I hereby present the business for the week commencing Tuesday, 27th May 2025. Mr. Speaker, sir, the status of business pending before the Senate includes 54 bills, of which 42 are at the second reading stage and 12 are at the committee of the whole stage. 23 motions pending conclusion. 29 petitions are pending conclusion, out of which 19 are due for reporting by the respective standing committees, and 473 statements pursuant to Standing Order 53-1 under consideration by respective standing committees. From the foregoing, it's evident that we have a long way to go in disposing the business before the Senate, as indicated in today's order paper. At orders number 8, 9, 10, 11, we have bills that have been at the second reading stage for a while. I therefore urge the majority and the minority whips to marshal the requisite number of the county delegations in order for the divisions to be undertaken. Mr. Speaker, sir, on Tuesday, 27th May 2025, the Senate Business Committee will meet to consider the business for the week. The tentative business for the day will include business not included from today's order paper, as well as the business indicated in the notice paper. The tentative business for the morning sitting on Wednesday, 28th May 2025, will include the following questions to Cabinet Secretaries as approved by the Senate Business Standing Committee, Senate Business Committee, as well as the motions. A, question number 001 to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, by Senator Mohammed Shute MP. Question number 068 to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Energy and Petroleum, by Senator Mohammed Shute MP. Question number 031 to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy, Maritime Affairs, by Senator Professor Tom Odinga, Senior Counsel MP. Question number 047 to the Cabinet Secretary, Ministry of Mining, Blue Economy and Maritime Affairs, by Senator Miraj Abdullahi MP. Question number 034 to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, by Senator Enoch Wambua MP. Question number 035 to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, by Senator James Murango MP. Question number 048 to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, by Senator Professor Tom Odinga, Senior Counsel MP. And question number 079 to the Cabinet Secretary, National Treasury and Economic Planning, by Senator Karen Nyamu MP. The tentative business for the afternoon sitting on Wednesday, 28 May 2025, will include business not concluded from Tuesday order paper and the following. A, bills at the second reading stage, the county government state officers removal from office, procedural bill, Senate Bills number 34 of 2024. The County Government's Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 39 of 2024, the Labor, Migration and Management number 2 Bill, Senate Bills number 42 of 2024, and the Street Naming and Property Addressing System Bill, Senate Bills number 43 of 2024. Bills at the Committee of the Whole, the Cooperative Societies Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 53 of 2023, the Public Fundraising Appeals Bill, Senate Bills number 36 of 2024, the Heritage and Museums Bill, Senate Bills number 8 of 2023, the Environment Laws Amendment Bill, Senate Bills number 23 of 2024, the County Library Services Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2024, and Statutory Instruments Bill, Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 10 of 2024. Motions. Report of the Standing Committee on Devolution and Intergovernmental Relations on the on its inquiry into the state of markets in Vihiga and Bungoma counties, arising from a statement sought by Senator Geoffrey Osotsi, MP, and Senator David Wakoli, MP, and progress report of the Standing Committee on National Cohesion, Equal Opportunities and Regional Integration into the inquiry on the diversity and inclusivity in the staff composition of state agencies in Kenya. The projected business for the Thursday, 29 May 2025, will include business not included from Wednesday's order paper and any other business scheduled by the Senate Business Committee. In conclusion, at order number 12 in today's order paper, we have a motion for consideration of the report of the Standing Committee on Finance and Budget on the fourth basis for allocating the share of national revenue among counties. This is a matter of great significance as it facilitates the equitable distribution of resources for effective functioning of county governments. I therefore urge all honorable senators to remain in the chamber and participate in the debate on this motion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I thank you and I hereby lay the statement on the table of the Senate.
The Honorable Senator Mngatana.
Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to read this statement. Mr. Speaker, I rise pursuant to Standing Order number 53-1 to seek a statement from the Standing Committee on National Security, Defense and Foreign Relations on a matter of inter-county-wide concern regarding the Gazette Notice number 6256, dated the 16th May 2025, issued by the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and National Administration on the acquisition of land in Tana River and Garissa counties for the construction of Masalani National Intelligence Service Campus. Mr. Speaker, the Gazette Notice has raised serious concerns among residents of the affected areas, considering that the land was appropriated without the requisite public participation or compensation. The notice also fails to specify the coordinates of the affected land parcels, heightening the fears of irregular land appropriation. In the statement, the committee should address the following. 1. The justification for the acquisition of land in Tana River and Garissa counties for the establishment of Masalani National Intelligence Service campuses. 2. The omission of precise geographical boundaries or coordinates of the acquired land in the Gazette Notice and the implications that this has for land administration and protection of community land rights. Number 3, the extent of public participation and stakeholder consultation undertaken prior to the publication of the Gazette Notice, particularly within the county government of Tana River and Garissa counties, which have held in trust for the residents affected. Number 4, the reasons why no compensation has been paid to the residents or communities which will be affected by the project, and what measures the national government intends to take to ensure equitable redress to the residents. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, honorable senators, I will allow limited comments before we move to the next order. So if you happen to get an opportunity to speak, we will speak for not more than 3 minutes. The Honorable Senator for Nairobi City County, Senator Edwin Sifuna.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just a few words on the statement that has been brought by the Senator for Busia regarding the Barakoi incident, Honorable Speaker. I have referenced this incident before because it was the first time I saw, Honorable Speaker, that the Inspector General of Police had been summoned, quote unquote, by the leadership of a community. And when he arrived there, he could not even disembark from his aircraft until the local leadership had arrived. And I remember watching on the news that he sat in that chopper for almost an hour, Honorable Speaker, and could not access the meeting that was going on. There were very passionate appeals that came from the people. Some leaders, including the leadership in this House, the majority leader, I remember him being present. Up to now, Honorable Speaker, the questions that were put by the residents have not been answered. I have not had any communication pursuant to that meeting from the leadership of the police or indeed the ministry itself. So, Honorable Speaker, we are hoping that the committee will try and get these answers for the people who are affected, and especially because, Honorable Speaker, the main problem, the elephant in the room, is the question of the ownership of the land and the allegations that there was an attempt by some powerful individuals in government to grab their land, which they called ancestral. So I am hoping that during that interaction with the committee, we will at least for this one be told the truth about the people behind it and the actions that have been taken in order to restore those who lost loved ones during that incident to a place where they feel like, the government actually cares about them. So because I was not there and leaders in this House were there, we are hoping that they can also guide this House on the situation there and the steps that have been taken by government to redress what happened. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Fernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to support the statement by Senator Okoiti, Okia Omtata Andrew, on the issue of state of investigation into Angata Baragoi killings in Narok County. Mr. Speaker, in as much as we continue to send our deepest condolences and empathies and sympathies to the people of Angata Baragoi, it is sad that after they are buried, their issues have been forgotten. Mr. Speaker, you saw even the Disanaj, 41 people are yet to be recovered. A few people were killed the other day in Todonyang, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate that this country, the DCI, is efficient only when they are pursuing politically expedient cases as opposed to pursuing criminals, Mr. Speaker. And you remember even, Mr. Speaker, on this issue of Angata Baragoi, there is much more than meets the eye. Because this is the protection of grabbers of land in Angata Baragoi, Mr. Speaker, we need to be told who is behind these killings. Mr. Speaker, it was an open fire. How do you open fire in unarmed, peaceful citizens who are protesting against land grabbers, Mr. Speaker? The land grabiosis disease must be stopped in this country. Even IPOA, Mr. Speaker, no one has been arrested up to date. Yet the bullet that was being used to shoot these people, post-mortem was done. Mr. Speaker, we must be told as the families continue to grieve what the government is doing, Mr. Speaker. And it is very unfortunate because even the Ministry of Interior led by Cabinet Secretary Murkomen gave us a bravado statement when he was in North Rift by saying those people wanted to attack the police. How can you attack the police with arms and stones? And that is why I said transferring incompetence to Ministry of Interior is dangerous because you lose lives. The roads, when they are stalled, it can be fixed at a later date, Mr. Speaker. You have seen even he has sponsored the grabbing of Masalani land in Tana River, Mr. Speaker. How do you go and grab land? This minister must be called out. He is embarrassing all of us who are in government. In fact, the Murkomen must and should resign. Mr. Speaker, even he is now sponsoring Murkomen must and should resign. Mr. Speaker, even he is now sponsoring MPs to attack me, Mr. Speaker, instead of fighting issues of insecurity.
There is a point of order.
Mr. Speaker, Senator Cherargei is not a first-term legislator. And even a first-term legislator by now understands and knows the standing orders of this House. If he wants to discuss the conduct of the cabinet minister, he knows what he needs to do. Number one, he knows that he needs to bring a substantive motion to you, together with the issues, and then we can have a discussion and look into the conduct of any minister, because nobody is above scrutiny, and everybody must be scrutinized. What we must stop, Mr. Speaker, is a conduct that is becoming the norm in this House, where people want to use the privilege of the floor of Parliament to malign and personalize attack against other citizens of this republic. That we cannot tolerate, Mr. Speaker. It is not honorable, it is not right, and it cannot be accepted. Did you hear Senator Cherargei say that CS Murkomen, I don't know, has organized land to be grabbed, I don't know where? Can he either table evidence to support his claims, Mr. Speaker, or withdraw? Because that should never be left in the records of this House, Mr. Speaker.
No. Senator
Mr. Speaker, sorry, and apologize.
Senator Fernandi, you either substantiate your allegations or you proceed to withdraw and apologize.
Mr. Speaker, I need your guidance because the Gazette notice was signed by the Cabinet Minister of Interior. I thought it is judicially noticed.
I am referring to the statement that you've made.
No, Mr. Speaker, let me substitute and withdraw that word, the grab, and say he gazetted.
Proceed, you've apologized, proceed.
Yeah, well, let me proceed, but Mr. Speaker, you have to appreciate that incompetence and corruption fights very seriously, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
Senator Fernandi, take your seat. Take your seat. Senator Fernandi, you have to abide by the ruling of the Speaker. Don't come up with your own ruling and proceed to abide by that ruling. A point of order has been raised against your allegations. And indeed, to that extent, that point of order is merited. Meaning you have two options. Either to substantiate. If you're unable to substantiate, you proceed to withdraw and apologize. Pick one option and proceed.
Mr. Speaker, I've already withdrawn the answer, and I have apologized by replacing with the word that it was gazetted. Mr. Speaker, let me conclude by saying the following. You know that's the danger of incompetence and corruption. Mr. Speaker, we must call out these gentlemen. They are embarrassing everybody. Being killed, Mr. Speaker, and no one is taking it serious. I expected the majority leader.
Senator Wambua. Senator Wambua.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Speaker, these days I rarely agree with Senator chariot, but on that matter of personalizing battles on the floor of the House, I totally agree with the majority leader. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to make comments on the statement brought to the floor by Senator Danson Mugatana, my neighbor from Tana River, on this matter of acquisition of land for a public good. Mr. Speaker, this matter is a weighty matter because, Mr. Speaker, this speaks to a lot of initiatives, especially by the national government, to, quote unquote, bring development to the people, but take away what they already have, and in most cases, it is land. Mr. Speaker, I am very sure the Senator of Tana River and the Senator of Garissa are not opposed to the construction of the Masalani National Intelligence Service campus, but they want due process to be followed, and they want the people who give out land for that public good to benefit from their land. Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that I have spoken about many, many times, especially on the issue of taking private land for use to construct roads. It is true, Mr. Speaker, that we all need roads everywhere. We need our roads to be tarmacked. But, Mr. Speaker, it is the highest level of deprivation. It is the highest level, Mr. Speaker, of robbing the public if we take people's land to initiate development projects for the benefit of the greater public, and then we don't compensate people for the land that we have taken. Mr. Speaker, I have in mind two issues in Kitui County: the issue of the construction of the Kibwezi-Kitui-Migwani Road, where our people have not been compensated 3 years down the line. Mr. Speaker, it is only fair, it is important, it is a constitutional principle that if you are taking private land from people to do a public project, then the people should be compensated promptly and according to the market rate. So, Mr. Speaker, I am in support of the statement by Senator Mugatana, and I hope that the committee.
The Senate Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to add my voice to this statement by Senator Andrew Kiomtata on the killings of residents in Angata Baragoi, Narok County. Mr. Speaker, where I join Senator Omtata in seeking to understand, first of all, how far the Inspector General of Police has gone with regards to the promise that he gave to the citizens in a meeting that I attended, in public and broad daylight, that the police officers that mishandled the firearms and led to the killing of 5 citizens, not 6. I have seen Senator Omtata. Oh yeah, he's captured it actually that it's 5. The only part that is not accurate, Mr. Speaker, is that initially, and indeed at the time of going there, I thought that there had been a child. It turned out actually that they were all 5 male adults of different ages. Mr. Speaker, when we were there with the Inspector General of Police, he spoke in broad daylight in the presence of media and the country that any police officer who was involved in those killings will carry their own cross. And I thought that was a good sign from him, meaning that then IPOA was going to swing into action, and by now we'd have known what is the identity of those officers and what action has been taken. It is now more than 3 weeks, nearly a month, actually, Mr. Speaker, since that incident happened, and there is nothing that has been said from the investigative agencies. I thought the practice is that in such a matter of great national concern, by now the country will have been updated, at least by IPOA, of what is the status of investigation and when will the citizens get justice. Second, and most importantly, Mr. Speaker, there is a particular administration officer, Mr. Chubert, if I'm not wrong, because the citizens kept on mentioning that name, that was mentioned profusely and was mentioned to have participated in organizing and leading this particular exercise. I thought by now the Ministry of Interior will equally have updated the country on what disciplinary action has been taken against that particular officer. Transferring, Mr. Speaker, is not a solution. If you transfer an administration officer who has led an exercise such as this that has led to the death of citizens, Mr. Speaker, basically what you're saying is that you're sending him to go and visit the same kind of killings in another part of the country, Mr. Speaker. And that cannot be acceptable. Therefore, I hope, Mr. Speaker, that when the answers come, we will be told also of what will have happened to this particular officer and what is the status of investigation.
Senator Eddie Okech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also wanted to add a voice on the statement by the good senator from Busia, Senator Kia Omtata. Mr. Speaker, the issue of excessive use of force by the police in this country is something that must stop. Because, Mr. Speaker, we lose way too many lives to recklessness by the police. But that said, because most of the senators have put their voice on this, I think that there needs to be a long-term solution to what is happening in Baragoi and Angata, Mr. Speaker. Because the livelihood of the people in these areas, Mr. Speaker, has been affected for way too long. Mr. Speaker, it will interest you to know that on the other side of Angata is Guitembe in Kuria region that falls in Migori County, Mr. Speaker. A time without number, this is a community that is so good at contributing in the agricultural basket of this country, very hardworking, in a very good environment that crops should be thriving, Mr. Speaker. But every single season, during rainy seasons and non-rainy season, Mr. Speaker, this community cannot settle. The Kuria people, the people of Kuria, cannot settle and focus on agriculture. In fact, Mr. Speaker, a number of times as leaders, we are forced to go and visit the communities during festive seasons to at least have them also enjoy festive seasons. For instance, Christmas and New Year's, because they've gone for a whole year without planting because of the wars in that region, because of the insecurity in the dispute of that land. So while it happened, Mr. Speaker, that on the Angata side is where the police shot a number of people there, Mr. Speaker, it is also true that that conflict is taking more lives in the entire region, Mr. Speaker. And I think that perhaps even apart from just having the committee deal with this, Mr. Speaker, because it's an ongoing conflict year in, year out, I want to indulge you, Mr. Speaker, and beg that perhaps it's a good time to bring a motion in this House and sort a resolution of the Senate to deal with what is going on at Angata and to deal with the issue that also involves the Kuria community and the Kipsigis community on the other side, Mr. Speaker. Because it's not right that even the Maasai community, the Man Nation that is on the other side, Mr. Speaker, have now been brought into this conflict.
Senator Seki.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I also want to contribute to this statement from Honorable Okiya Omtata on the issue of the killing of residents of Angata Barikoi. Honorable Speaker, this information came to us and we really regretted, and we want to condole to the people of Narok, more so the Angata Barikoi area. And we believe that the committee responsible will get to to these matters as quick as possible, so that we don't act on the issue that has been overtaken by events, Honorable Speaker. We are looking forward to see the action where the police has taken on this matter, Honorable Speaker, because we see that there is no discipline for the people who acted on this matter. There is no arrests. And these are the things that we really wonder why we have systems and structures in this government or in government. So we are looking forward to see the committee coming in handy to make sure that these issues have been addressed as early as possible. More so also the issue of land issues that brought their old problem, wanted to know, will be able to see or even to hear what are the issues that contributed to this problem, because these are issues concerning land. And what about that land that has been having dispute? And the compensation of the victims, Honorable Speaker. We are looking forward to see all this. Honorable Speaker, I also want to contribute on the issue of a statement from Honorable Mugatana on issues of public land or private land or even community land that is being used by government with no compensation. Honorable Speaker, I will refer to a land just next to Nairobi here in a place called Vetland in Ngong area, where government had done a lot of quarry to remove maram and even stones and building materials for public use with no compensation to the communities around there. There is a lot of excavation, a lot of problems, a lot of destruction. They do a lot of, destruction to the neighboring neighbors within that quarry with no compensation. These are the things that we really need to look at. Even when...
Senator Faki.
Asante Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipa fursa hii kutoa kauli yangu juu ya taarifa iliyoletwa bungeni na Senator Abbas, Senator wa gatuzi la Wajir. Mheshimiwa Spika, mazingira ni kiungo muhimu cha maisha yetu Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo ni makosa kwa serikali zetu za county kuchafua mazingira ambao binadamu wanaishi katika sehemu zile. Mheshimiwa Spika, utupaji takataka Mheshimiwa Spika ni donda sugu katika kaunti nyingi. Japokuwa kwa sasa kuna vifaa vya kisasa ambavyo vinaweza kutumika zikabadilisha takataka zile kuwa ni umeme ama makaa au matumizi mengine ambayo ni yana manufaa kwa binadamu. Kaunti zetu Mheshimiwa Spika zimekuwa na kadhia ya kutupa hizo takataka bila uangalizi wowote. Kwa Mheshimiwa Spika, NEMA pia wameweza kuzembea katika kazi yao, kwa sababu NEMA atakana wazunguke na waweze kuangalia mazingira kwamba yako sawa kwa maisha ya binadamu. Lakini mpaka sasa pia Mheshimiwa Spika, NEMA wameweza pia kuzembea katika kazi hiyo muhimu. Kwa hiyo Mheshimiwa Spika, tunaunga mkono taarifa hii na tutahakikisha kwamba wale wanaohusika katika utupaji takataka na uchafuzi wa mazingira wanaweza kuadhibiwa kulingana na sheria. Asante Mheshimiwa Spika.
Senator Kisang.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to commend the statement by Okiya Omtata and Mugatana. Honorable Speaker, I think the Inspector General of Police needs to honor his word, because he was in Narok and he promised that he was going to take action. And up to now, the House or even the country has not been updated on what has been taken, including the police officers who used live bullet to kill the people, Honorable Speaker. It's also important for the local administration, especially the DCC and the chiefs and the elders, to nip these particular issues before they come out, Honorable Speaker, because it's unfortunate that lives were lost. Honorable Speaker, the one on Dana River and Karisa, Honorable Speaker, when development goes to particular areas, there will be benefits that will accrue to the community, Honorable Speaker. What is very important is just that before they do anything, they need to involve the leaders, the public, and especially the Constitution is very clear. Before you undertake any development in an area, you need to do public participation and also compensate. For a National Intelligence Service campus, I don't think they need more than 50 acres. So they need to talk to the people, do public participation, and they'll be accepted in the area. Otherwise, we don't want to cause another conflict in that region, Honorable Speaker. And then, Honorable Speaker, the Bible says, you know, somebody was asking, how many times will you forgive somebody? Or you say sorry. It says 70 times 70 or even more times, Honorable Speaker. Senator Jerarke, Honorable Speaker, has found it an habit. Every time he gets an opportunity, he has to attack the CS, Interior, Governor Sag of Nanti. So it's like it has become his business. When he gets any opportunity, those two leaders, he has to just... I address the point of order. You know, I just wanted... Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Senator Professor Tom Ojenda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would wish to contribute to the very eminent statement by Senator Danson Mugatana of Tana River. Mr. Speaker, this statement is important because it touches on the land question. And whilst it refers to the designation or establishment of Salani National Intelligence Service campus outside the procedure of land acquisition and processes, Mr. Speaker, it is important to speak to this question, Mr. Speaker, because it is important, Mr. Speaker, that all land acquisition or acquired for public purpose, Mr. Speaker, must be gazetted, and beyond gazettement,
Order,
Mr. Speaker,
Senator Falgeo Marakwet.
Beyond gazettement, Mr. Speaker, there must be compensation of the owners of that land. And Mr. Speaker, if the land is in a county, it is important that the county be involved in that process so that this process is as transparent as every individual can understand it, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I am alive to the fact that we have many processes going on in this country that touch on land and on the public. And it is important every time, Mr. Speaker, that when the land question is addressed, every title in question must be identified. Every title in question must have the participation of those who are involved or who own that title or those who have an interest in that title, so that, my Lord, Mr. Speaker, if or when the land is acquired, all the processes that are designated to be undertaken by the National Land Commission are undertaken so that the NLC, the National Land Commission, can undertake the process of compensation. Mr. Speaker, we are alive to the ongoing issues or disputes involving the SGR. And now with the SGR extension going to Western Kenya through Vihiga County and through Kisumu County and the other counties, it is important, Mr. Speaker, that we are not lost. It is not lost to us that that process mirrors the processes that Mr. Mugatana speaks to this afternoon, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as a House, we must protect the rule of law. We must speak to it, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that both the Land Act, the Land Acquisition Act, and the processes that involve land administration are strictly adhered to when acquiring land for a public purpose, which again, Mr. Speaker, must be defined in the Gazette notice. I rest, Mr. Speaker.
Next order. Yes, what is your intervention, Senator for Nyamira?
Mr. Speaker, I have a small matter I seek your guidance that touches on the work of the Committee of Devolution. Mr. Speaker, on, I believe, 15th of May, this House did pass a resolution on a progress report that was tabled before this House by the Devolution Committee. Mr. Speaker, among the resolutions that the House passed included directives that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission investigates the appropriation and spending of public resources by impeached Speaker and a group of members of County Assembly of Nyamira, and further that the sittings that were being conducted outside the precincts of the County Assembly be stopped forthwith, and that the impeached Speaker and MCs that are convened outside the gazetted precincts of the County
What
Assembly.
is the point of order? Already the senator is on a point of order because he rose on an intervention. Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, there is a law we passed in this House that I will seek we review. We said if one is an elected member of Parliament, he should not attend continuous legal education for lawyers. But the way Senator Cheragay is conducted himself in this House, we made...
Senator Mogene, just proceed with your intervention, please.
Now, Mr. Speaker, can you allow me to prosecute?
Senator Fernandi, can you allow the Senator from Nyamira to make his point, please? Proceed, Senator Mogene.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Proceed.
Now, Mr. Speaker, I've made inquiry from the County Assembly of Nyamira, and I've confirmed, Mr. Speaker, that these resolutions have not been communicated to the County Assembly of Nyamira so that we can have a follow-up on the implementation. But, Mr. Speaker, to my surprise, I've received information just this afternoon that the committee has, despite this resolution, and despite the fact that this resolution has not been communicated to the County Assembly of Nyamira, the committee has taken an unprecedented step of summoning all 36 members of County Assembly of Nyamira to a meeting in Nairobi on the 26th of May, 2025. Mr. Speaker, the contents of the invitation letters dated the 20th of May, 2025 are the same, Mr. Speaker, as the content of a letter that was sent to the same County Assembly on 1st of April, 2025 that culminated in their appearance before the said committee on 8th of April, 2025. Mr. Speaker, you know how small our county is. You know the kind of resources that our county receives, Mr. Speaker. It is a total, it's a total abuse of office or power by this committee, Mr. Speaker, to summon all my 36 MCAs to Nairobi, whereas the resolution of the House was clear that they should visit the County Assembly at the County Assembly gazetted premises in Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. I want to seek directive, Mr. Speaker, from you to direct two things, Mr. Speaker. One, the resolution that was passed by this House, Mr. Speaker, on the 15th of May should be communicated to the County Assembly of Nyamira. Two, the committee should respect, Mr. Speaker, the resolution that was passed by this Honorable House that directed them to visit the MCAs at the County Assembly gazetted premises in Nyamira. Mr. Speaker, we don't have resources to pay per diem to 36 MCAs and their drivers and 3 clerks to come and do a meeting in Nairobi. In fact, I've gone through standing orders, Mr. Speaker. I've not seen any standing order that has given power to any committee of this House to summon an entire county assembly to come to attend a committee meeting in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker. So I seek your direction, Mr. Speaker, that the resolution of this House be respected, and if the committee wants to have any engagement with the County Assembly of Nyamira, the same be done within the resolution that we passed as a House, that meeting be held at the gazetted County Assembly premises in Nyamira, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. The resolutions as passed by this House must be communicated to the County Assembly of Nyamira, and that must be done within the next 3 days. Secondly, pursuant to the resolutions that are passed, the Devolution Committee was supposed to visit Nyamira County Assembly. It did not indicate that Nyamira County Assembly was the one to visit the Senate. And therefore, let the concerned committee visit the County Assembly of Nyamira as resolved by the House and not otherwise. Next order. Let's make progress, honorable members. I've been very clear. I don't know why you're seeking point of clarification on that particular matter.
Order number 8, the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 10 of 2025, resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 21st May 2025, afternoon sitting. Mover to reply.
The chairperson standing committee, or this is the Division of Revenue Bill, National Assembly Bills number 10 of 2025. The mover is the majority leader. You may proceed to reply.
Mr. Speaker, I was wondering whether I've been sacked without notice. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you. I have listened to colleagues the last 2 days, and I must say, Mr. Speaker, that there is hope for devolution. I am particularly impressed, Mr. Speaker, by the resolute nature in which each and every senator has addressed himself or herself with regard to division of revenue for 2025. Mr. Speaker, I am particularly impressed as well by the fact that everybody has vowed on the floor that 405 is not an option. I am equally happy, Mr. Speaker, by the work that has been done by our members of Budget and Finance Committee and the proposal that they have agreed to lead us as a House. Because, Mr. Speaker, we must take a decision as a House. We must ask ourselves whether, if devolution was to die, Mr. Speaker, on which side of the blame will we be? Will we just join the morning party, or we will stand guilty as charged together with those that will have brought devolution, Kenya's biggest glue that binds this country together to its death? I must appreciate, Mr. Speaker, that I am acutely aware of the tight fiscal space that we find ourselves in as a country. That I know very much, and I have been consistent and clear. If you check the records of this House, Mr. Speaker, especially with regards to management of our economy and the biggest struggle that we find ourselves in, which is a debt distress, Mr. Speaker, you will find that I have been as clear as daylight, Mr. Speaker. When the motion was brought to this House about 5 or 6 years ago to increase our debt ceiling from 5 trillion to 10 trillion, I opposed that motion, Mr. Speaker. Moved by Senator Pogisio, seconded by Minority Leader then, Senator James Orengo, in this House, Mr. Speaker. And we predicted very well, because at that particular time, Mr. Speaker, I was a member of Budget and Finance Committee, that there will come a time where we will not be able to meet our financial obligations because of that kind of unchecked borrowing. We are now in that particular space, Mr. Speaker, where we are struggling to pay debt, and therefore we are told we must tighten our belts. I agree, tighten our belts we will, but you cannot begin tightening your belts from those that consumed the least, which is devolution. If it is tightening our belts, Mr. Speaker, then let us see that action commensurate with regards to the budget that is left with the national government, Mr. Speaker. And that is why senators have spoken and have said that 450 is a minimum, and that we are very clear about, Mr. Speaker. Our Committee on Budget and Finance has proposed 465. That is even better, Mr. Speaker. And because our colleagues in the National Assembly have told us that you have no business looking into the budget of the national government, Mr. Speaker, we have said, fine. We don't want to know what details entails therein. But at least give us 465, we take back to the 47 devolved units, then find the money to run your operations in the rest of the departments and state organs, Mr. Speaker. Because if somebody does not stand up for devolution, Mr. Speaker, devolution will be killed. And I wish, Mr. Speaker, Senator Moses Kajwang was here, because he walked out just maybe to attend to something when I was rising to speak. Because I said the other day, Mr. Speaker, that yes, we are concerned by the audit reports that continue to be brought to this House. And before the end of last session, members, if you recall, we hurriedly passed resolutions of
about almost all the 47 county governments audit reports, you know, because of an imposition of a timeline by the courts, Mr. Speaker. And we said we shall find time to revisit, to check on, Mr. Speaker, the operations of our specific county governments. That exercise needs to happen and happen now. I know, Mr. Speaker, that there are members of CPIC, County Public Accounts Committee, that are in this House. I want to request them with a lot of humility that you must lead the exercise, because this is ordinarily your work. This is the work that this committee has, this House has charged you with the responsibility of, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that once we have done the battle and have brought the goods home, that they are used prudently for the improvement of the welfare of our citizens, Mr. Speaker. We went out to point, Mr. Speaker, if you recall that particular debate on that afternoon, and I do remember, Mr. Speaker, because I made a contribution just like all my colleague senators, Mr. Speaker, that there were certain glaring maladministration issues that were coming out distinctively clear in almost all the 47 county governments without fail, Mr. Speaker. The issue of minimal disposition of resources, Mr. Speaker, hardly 20%. Many counties are using up only 15 to 22% at the maximum, Mr. Speaker, towards actual development expenditure, Mr. Speaker. That means close to 80% is going to recurrent expenditure. That is not tenable. That cannot be viable, Mr. Speaker. And I want us to reflect on the speech made by Prime Minister Raila this morning, Mr. Speaker, in this House, about the journey of devolution and why we as a Senate must always stand and defend. It must be recalled, Mr. Speaker, that on those particular reports that we considered here as well, we were reminded that many of our county governments, I think 35, if I'm not wrong, out of 47 of our counties, were spending more than half the resources that we devolved, Mr. Speaker, on paying salaries. Surely, Mr. Speaker, then why should you want to be called a governor? Your name should be turned to Paymaster General, that you are just a salaries payment officer. If you are disposing more than half the shareable revenue that is due to your county, Mr. Speaker, to pay salaries alone. And I have said that this business, Mr. Speaker, of telling us that, oh, you know, in 2013, we inherited members of staff from the defunct municipal councils, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, we have to find ways of paying them. Surely, this is almost 15 years since that exercise happened. What is your contingency plan? And I want to tell you, members, if we wait that our county governors file that particular plan on the route to achieving the statutory 35%, Mr. Speaker, on spend on recurrent expenditure, Mr. Speaker, it will never happen. We are the ones who passed Regulation 25 of PFM, Mr. Speaker, on how much each county is supposed to spend. We are the ones that are charged with the mandate of enforcing it. I want to urge you, honorable members, particularly members of Budget and Finance Committee who brought us this wonderful report, that you must lead us in an exercise where we have a conversation and we sit down and pass regulations, Mr. Speaker, so that if a county government does not file a plan through which they aim or they head, you know, Mr. Speaker, prudent use of public resources is not an event. It is a process. There is a way through which you grow your numbers. If today you are at 47%, Senator Faki, because if I recall, that is the number that your county, Mombasa, was at, Governor Abdul Swamad must file before this House the plan that they have for the next 3, 4, 5, or even 6 years as a county government to move towards attainment of the statutory 35%. But if this year is 47, next year is 48, the year after that it becomes 50, surely even us as a House, aren't we complicit in the maladministration that is going on in our counties, Mr. Speaker? We have been reminded this afternoon, Mr. Speaker, that there are many, these initiatives that keep on popping up, collaborations between county government and national government. First of all, there were KIPES, Mr. Speaker. You go and check what plans are being done by the county governments. You know, KIPE was conceptualized in Nairobi, and that's why we must move away from these plans that are conceptualized in the well-seed rooms here in Nairobi, but have no meaning or connection whatsoever with the challenges that people face in the village. If you go today to your county, youth leader Senator Oburu, and ask yourself, what is the plan that is being made to make sure that the KIPE that is being built in your county will actually be of service to the people of Siaya? Chances are there is absolutely nothing. And if you ask the governor, rightfully so, he will say, but I was not consulted. I was just told, give a matching fund of 250 million. And we too, we cannot plead innocence because we participated in passing a division of revenue that ensured that each county contributed 250 million. The same, I think with the exception of Nairobi. The same can be said about these, what are these community health promoters? Surely, if the only thing they earn is a salary, why does somebody need to keep that money at Ministry of Health here at Afya House instead of sending all that money? And we can calculate. We know what is a stipend. Why surely, what is this obsession that we have in our country with holding on to resources that you don't need, even people's salary? At least we know, even if you're looking for a kickback, Senator Eddy, there is no kickback in people's salary. At least send that one out. And therefore, good people, I want to ask of us that as we consider division of revenue, let us passionately fight and stand up for devolution. Because this is the last battalion of defense. If you let this country down, Mr. Speaker, there is no likelihood whatsoever that anybody will ever remember that there was need. We understand that there are challenges, Senator Mogeni. Devolution is not as popular as CDF. That is a fact. Nobody doesn't, it's not rocket science. And it's for obvious reasons. CDF is managed separately. And we must be able to learn, even us, and appreciate that what is it that has made CDF to be as popular as it is, of course, is the fact that they don't utilize the level of human resource that we utilize in our counties. That is why 98% of that fund goes to actual budgetary programs, things that are tangible and people can see. You know, schools, and I don't know what, things that ordinary citizens would wish to identify with. But you know, when you're a county government and 50% of the 10 billion you receive is paying 3,000-4,000 people in a county of 1 million people, then people will say, wrap these things up, we don't want them. Therefore, part of defending devolution is to ensure that we make it work in the way that it was designed. And the way that it was designed is to make sure that people feel resources getting into their pockets. So I want to urge as colleagues, as we begin this conversation and the reawakening that we have, we must all stand together and appreciate that there will be challenges, that we may not achieve that which we set out to achieve immediately or at the time of first asking. But surely and certainly, Mr. Speaker, as a House, we must make a firm decision that is in the best interest of the country. You know, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, I watched something, or I think it was 2 days ago, the former Budget and Appropriations Committee Chair of the National Assembly. I think he was addressing himself to quite a number of issues, and I began to appreciate that no wonder we have the challenges that we have. You know, there is something that the late President, Mr. Speaker, President Mwai Kibaki, used to speak about people being suddenly very clever. And I saw the gentleman trying to tell us, oh, you know, we should not borrow. Even the budget that we are using in this financial year, it is that gentleman actually who passed it on the floor of the National Assembly with a fiscal deficit of almost 5%. How is it that suddenly he has discovered that borrowing is bad? This House has been pushing and insisting. Read, Mr. Speaker, our BSP report for the last 10 years. Senate has always maintained that don't have a fiscal deficit of above 3.3%, including the report that we passed here. As Senate, we have been quite clear on these things. Our colleagues who have been on the other side, on the National Assembly, cannot be the ones that are lecturing the country at this particular time and telling us, oh, you don't need to do this, we have borrowed this much. We have borrowed because you know you passed a budget that has a deficit of close to 1 trillion shillings, and there is no other way of meeting it, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, much as we want to have this conversation, it cannot be that because you are no longer wanted by your colleagues, Mr. Speaker, that you suddenly now want to talk down on everybody and tell us, oh, this and that is not right. I don't know, we are being told NSSF should not do this or the other. Mr. Speaker, you know, I found even that to be extremely ignorant. You know for a fact that here in Nairobi, just a kilometer from where we are gathering, NSSF of Tanzania are putting up an investment, I think, of close to 40 billion Kenya shillings, because pension funds world over are looking for opportunities to invest. The problem with us as a country is that we think that it is the work of NFSSF to only build houses and sell to citizens. Therefore, no wonder our pension scheme has never grown. A small country, a country with a smaller economy like Uganda, has a bigger pension fund than ours because of innovativeness in their thoughts, Mr. Speaker. And I saw this gentleman telling us, oh, don't build roads, don't do this or the other. Do people know, for example, that this expressway is built by savings from other pensioners in China who today, when we use the expressway, earn from us? Then you are telling us that our own cannot invest when opportunities come? Spare us this kind of lectures, Mr. Speaker. You know, Mr. Speaker, we have to be bold in our decision making and ensure that we are honest and truthful to the country, even as we have conversations about what is it that we can do about our economy. The last thing, Mr. Speaker, even on the securitization of roads, and I want to challenge you members. If you go to the Ministry of Roads and Transport today, there is a gentleman who's the Minister for Roads, C.S. Davis Chirchir. On his dashboard, he is able to show you the investment that has been done by the 3 road agencies in this country. If that thing does not make you boil when you look at it, and I think I'll ask that document be tabled here in Parliament one day. You know, because I'm saying this because I saw the member of Kiharu, that former member of, chair of Budget and Finance Committee, saying that we should not securitize roads levy so that we build roads in other parts of the country. Yet he knows, last financial year alone, in his own constituency, he sent 14 billion Kenya shillings to one constituency. The whole of my own county, has hardly, you know, then somebody tells us, oh, don't securitize. You know, this loan conversation about repayments of loans, Mr. Speaker, one day we will have to be honest with each other. You know, when I tell my people of Kericho that the reason you can't have sufficient development is because you are repaying loans, they ask you, loans for what? Because they cannot see. One day we will just say, tabulate what is in your county and pay. So that we see. You know, Mr. Speaker, hypocrisy must end in this country. Part of the reason why I love the broad-based government is that we said we want to be honest and end the politics of hypocrisy and politics of blackmail, Mr. Speaker, such as what I saw that young man trying to pursue. You cannot put 14 billion in your constituency, then you come and tell the rest of us who are dealing with bad and poor roads that we cannot look for money to build roads for our own people, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hope that I am still responding to comments made by my colleagues on division of revenue. But I just thought about it and I said, this country, sometimes you follow things and you wonder. We want equity. There's a point that I said that perhaps was lost. I said, and my colleagues, if it is not so difficult to establish, because now we are doing, in the new formula, the 4th generation formula, we are doing, there's an element called the gross county product, how much a county has been able to produce. What will you produce if you have not been enabled by the national government, Mr. Speaker? You can't produce if you have no roads, if your people are not healthy. There are counties that have 7 level 5 hospitals, while in most of the rural counties, like from where most of us come from, has only 1, and it is a level 5 by name only, or counties that do not have. Therefore, if people want us to measure the productivity of every county, let us also measure the investment of national government in those counties, Mr. Speaker, so that we are able to know that we have put 100 billion in County X, and therefore we expect a return factor of this much. If the investment by national government is 1 billion in my county, they should not expect anything, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is a moment that we have to be honest and sincere with each other. The reason devolution, the reason division of revenue is important and why Senate cannot come down from 400, the request of 465, Mr. Speaker, is that at least we know what we divide in this House, Mr. Speaker, is equally and equitably shared across all our 47 county governments. That cannot be said of the budget that remains in the other house. And therefore, if it was even possible, Mr. Speaker, we would actually put most of our resources in this house so that we share equitably across the 47 county governments, and the other one which people want to play games with, the little part of it, remains in the other house. Since that is not possible, let us at least begin with this 465, Mr. Speaker. The rest can come later. With those very many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to reply. Finally, Mr. Speaker, in accordance to Standing Order number 66(1), unless the whips, Senator Sifuna and Boni, can tell me that we can raise the numbers to pass this division of revenue, I don't think we have sufficient. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, in accordance to Standing Order 66(3), I want to request. they have already told me, Mr. Speaker, that it is not possible to raise 24 delegations on a Thursday afternoon. Therefore, I request that the putting of the question be deferred until a later date. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The putting of the question is deferred. Next order.
Order number 9, the Creative Economy Support Bill, Senate Bills number 30 of 2024, second reading. Resumption of debate interrupted on Wednesday, 21st May 2025, afternoon sitting. Mover to reply.
Senator Eddy, you may now proceed to reply.
I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to reply to the Creative Economic Support Bill. And Mr. Speaker, just like devolution has been suffering, the creative economy has also been suffering without sometimes champions. And today, Mr. Speaker, you saw that the effect, what we call the Baba effect, when he came to address us here, one meeting with Baba, you've seen what it has done to the majority leader of this house. The majority leader is fired up. From that just 1 minute with Baba, you can imagine if it's a number of, if it was more meetings, you could have seen what would have come. Mr. Speaker, let me take this opportunity, first of all, to thank the good senator from Tana River, Senator Danson Mugatana, for the great comments he made when he was helping to second this motion. I think it is a long time that, Mr. Speaker, the creative economy must be able to self-regulate. And that self-regulation, Mr. Speaker, must be empowered by different facets of this House, Mr. Speaker, to the extent that, if possible, they have a good control over the funds that have long time been housed in the has been housed in the Ministry of Culture and Sport, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, are you okay? Yeah, so, Mr. Speaker, I want to thank Senator Danson Mugatana for his comments, and particularly when he suggested that perhaps because there are a number of guilds that do run the different clusters of creative economy, perhaps we consider having this as a council, because a council then will encompass many more guilds and give it a bigger governance structure that will be semi-corporate in terms of just an organization that can be able to then help the creatives rethink the idea of industrial policy. Because this bill, by large, and from the comment of all the senators who have spoken, by large is a bill that for the first time is going to help creative economy have an industrial policy influence that will then inform the action or inaction of government. So I want to thank you so much, Senator Mugatana. And of course, I also want to thank all the senators that have spoken on this bill. Among them, also Senator Sigei, Hilary Sigei, as well as Senator Ledama, whose comments really inspired me,
because they were keen on making sure that perhaps we should forward some amendments alongside the amendment of making sure that we have the creative economy having a council instead of just the guild, but also they had proposed that perhaps we reduce some influence of the ministry that has been proposed. We had proposed that this bill be housed, or rather this act be housed under the Ministry of Trade and Investment, because we don't want a situation whereby people are looking at creatives as just people who do not succeed in life, and therefore they are left as exploring music or exploring comedy or exploring any form of art as a place of last resort. So therefore, the first thing that we must change is the culture that people see creatives as people who don't have formal career, who don't have potential for being professionals. Indeed, creative economy has proven to be a professional economy, that then we must be able to create it in a way that even the younger generation can desire to have a career in the creative economy. And that's why we're taking it to the Ministry of Trade and Investment to make sure that we can be able to create a case, or rather make a case for commercial viability in the creative industry. But then the comment of the two senators, Senator Ledama as well as Senator Hilary Sigei, was that we reduce some of the power we want to give to the minister so that the creative can take over that role. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, some of the comments that the senators gave in this House are synonymous with the comments that we received, Mr. Speaker, during the committee stage of this particular bill. And Mr. Speaker, allow me to highlight that I think this is one of the bills that has had the highest number of submissions in this House, because we had about 80 submissions, and mostly by creatives, who actually also showed up and shared with us a lot of their thoughts. And Mr. Speaker, it would be in order for me to actually thank them. Mr. Speaker, we had, when we were starting this program, Mr. Speaker, one of the best artists in the country, a musician called Bien, together with Nameless, together with a comedian called Mamito, another musician called Nviri, a number of artists actually invited us into an informal kamukunji, and we sat together, we had tea, and envisioned what this could be like. And Mr. Speaker, during the time that public participation was called, I saw a number of creatives really giving a lot of input to this bill. Some of them, Mr. Speaker, include people like John Kimani, people like Ezekiel Onyango, who is the chair of the association that deals with the films in the industry. We had people like Eric Omondi, who is very well known, Mr. Speaker. We had Nikki Big Fish, who also gave us a lot of comment. We had Winnie Njenga, who is in the creative space at the content creation online. So people really who know what the creatives are going through gave a lot of input in this bill. And I want to say that when we're going to the last stage of this bill, we will definitely make sure that some of the proposed thoughts that do agree with the thoughts of these creatives who contributed overwhelmingly in the development of this bill will be included in the amendments that will then inform the subsequent stage of this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I want to say categorically that as a House, we must champion and fight for a space for creatives to make sure that the idea of support is not just limited to tokenism or some form of affirmative action, but actually recognizing that creatives in general and in specific in their different clusters are permeating the entire ecosystem of our economy. There is no industry that doesn't consume a piece of art or a piece of the creatives. You can remember, Mr. Speaker, when we were walking just out of this house today with the Prime Minister, I saw over 100 cameras looking at us. And if you look at those cameras, it is creative work that's going on there. Be it from just simple photography, which is a genre in the creative industry, to production, to TV, to publishing, to comments, to writing on our newspapers, as well as publishing books, Mr. Speaker. These are all elements of creative that we cannot lose sight in this particular time when even AI is defining where a country can go in terms of economy. We cannot lose sight on making a case for creatives to be a viable option for business in this country and a viable driver of our economy. And therefore, I hope that this bill, Mr. Speaker, this House will give it life, and I hope that through the help of the majority leader, we will find a key sponsor, a co-sponsor in the National Assembly who will drive this agenda of the creatives very fast in the National Assembly, so that as soon as possible, creatives will have a house of their own that can help them self-regulate, help them inform our policy through their own industrial policy, that affect the issues around royalties of creatives, that affect the issues around distribution of creative products, that affect the issues around IP, intellectual property rights, Mr. Speaker, that affects the issue of contract drawing, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, all these places that affect creatives, if you are to single them out and then start putting policy to the individual elements, because of the dynamic nature of the industry, Mr. Speaker, you might never have an avenue of putting up the right standard. But this bill, if we work hard as senators and pass it, will give the creatives the power of establishing proper standards in the industry in terms of all those issues that affect creatives along the lines that I've mentioned. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I wish to reply, and I want to thank the House for the support for this bill, and I hope that it will be fast-tracked in the third reading so that it can be able to go to the Assembly as fast as possible. And even as I reply, Mr. Speaker, I wish to beg your indulgence, Mr. Speaker, that pursuant to Standing Order number 663, I request that putting of the question be deferred to a later date, given that the House is already late at this time and we might not get the delegation that can be able to move it forward today, but I hope that it will be a priority in the next session. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, very well. And the putting of the question on under number 9 is deferred. And then also we defer under number 10 and 11 and 12. So we go to under number 13. Clerk.
Order number 13, the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bills number 7 of 2024, second reading.
Senate Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a second, Mr. Speaker. I want to retrieve my notes. It's a very important bill. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024, be now read a second time. Mr. Speaker, this is a very important bill. The cooperatives movement is the heart and soul of this country. The countries that have been able to leapfrog us in the last few years, Mr. Speaker, since independence, are those that have been able to organize their cooperative sector or to harness the joint initiatives of its citizens, Mr. Speaker, into an organized force for good, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, this space of our cooperatives is one particular area that we need to have an adult conversation about as a country. I know, Mr. Speaker, for example, you represent one of the counties that has the strongest cooperatives movement. I know the Meru Milk Cooperative. I forget the exact name, but I follow its annual events, Mr. Speaker.
You should benefit from
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Meru Central Farmers
Yes.
Cooperative Union.
Thank you, thank you. Meru Central Farmers Cooperative Union. I follow their annual gathering, Mr. Speaker, their AGM, and the kind of volumes that they talk about and what the economy that they move in that particular part of the country, Mr. Speaker, is worth emulating. In fact, Mr. Speaker, back in the day, and I know we still have it, though it has gone, it doesn't attract the level of glamour that it used to attract back in the days. I know, Mr. Speaker, you will recall the days of the Cooperatives Day, where President Moi would invite all the cooperatives in the country, and there would be an award ceremony, most of the time here in KICC. And the cooperatives that were performing best, Mr. Speaker, will be rewarded, depending on the sector and how they have been able to transform the rural economy. If we want our rural economy to thrive, Mr. Speaker, this is a space that we must pay attention to. And no serious leader worth their salt, Mr. Speaker, can turn a blind eye on the conversation in the cooperative space. It is unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that as we have this conversation, we are having it as a background of the events that recently happened at Cusco and the damning reports of what happened in that particular institution the last 10 years. And in fact, it is on account of lessons learned by the mismanagement of that particular cooperative, the umbrella body of all the cooperatives, and subsequently what happened in all the other cooperatives, Mr. Speaker. Because you'll recall in every village, if you go to my county, for example, there are so many former active cooperative unions, especially particularly for coffee farmers, Mr. Speaker, that went down with farmers' money. And nowadays, when you tell people to put their money into a cooperative, they think twice about it. I want to tell the citizens of the Republic of Kenya that the Senate and Parliament in general is concerned and has agreed that that cannot continue to obtain as a situation of the day, Mr. Speaker. We must do something about it, because the fact that we missed the step at some point doesn't mean that we give up on the cooperative movement in the country, Mr. Speaker. This is a space that has a lot of potential, Mr. Speaker, to take this country to the next level of success. And therefore, as leaders, we must ensure, Mr. Speaker, that we do that which is right in streamlining operations in our cooperative sector, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that our farmers, to ensure that our border riders, Mama Mboga, all these people that are organizing themselves into small, micro, and macro cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, have the requisite law, Mr. Speaker, to guide on their operations. We must strengthen, and that is, I'm just laying the basis why this bill is important before I go into the highlight of exactly what the nitty-gritties of the bill are about, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that we especially tighten the governance structure of our cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, so as to be sure that when, Mr. Speaker, a particular individual forms a cooperative society, then they don't end up misusing the funds of that institution to the detriment of all the other members, Mr. Speaker. If you see the cooperatives that have succeeded and have served longer, Mr. Speaker, it's because of the governance structure of that particular cooperative society, Mr. Speaker. It is because, Mr. Speaker, those cooperatives had leaders that ensured that members' savings were used prudently, Mr. Speaker. That at the time where members wanted to access their savings, they were able to do so, Mr. Speaker. And you think about so many others, you know. Think about teachers, for example. In my own county, the largest financial institution is actually a cooperative union that previously was started by our teachers, used to be known as a Kipsigis Teachers Circle, but has now since transitioned into Imarisha, open for all members of society, including yours truly here. My mother used to be a member. I have since also joined now as a member as well, and so many other people, Mr. Speaker. A great financial institution, and so many others, Mr. Speaker. And it is for such institutions that we are passing this legislation to ensure that our cooperatives sector thrive, Mr. Speaker, and this country can roar back to life. Now, into the nitty-gritties of this particular bill. This bill, Mr. Speaker, has actually 25 sections. It's quite a lengthy bill, and it took time. This is the most comprehensive legislation on cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, since the coming into force of the new constitution. That's why this bill is extremely important, Mr. Speaker. We tried last time, we tried in the 11th Parliament as well, to pass a bill on cooperatives. We didn't succeed. I am happy, Mr. Speaker, because this bill has now begun in the National Assembly. National Assembly has passed it. I know, Mr. Speaker, that we are able to debate it, Mr. Speaker, and pass it, Mr. Speaker, so that we sign it into law. I have listened, Mr. Speaker, even to the regulator of these societies, SASRA and the rest, and they have impressed on me the need to make sure that this legislation is quickly passed, Mr. Speaker, so as to ensure that we have a working sector. And therefore, this is the work actually of a consultative exercise that took quite a number of years. I don't know if you know, for example, who is the cooperative commissioner of Meru County, Mr. Speaker. I don't know if Senator Boni Alwale knows the one for Kakamega, or Mungatana, the one for Tana River. Yet, these are extremely powerful officers, Mr. Speaker, because many of your people are organizing themselves into cooperatives. We are now passing this piece of legislation, Senator Mungatana, so as to ensure that those men and women have sufficient powers to ensure that even the young people that you're about to take me to go and fundraise for example, in Tana River, that the minute they raise funds, Mr. Speaker, the officials, 3 or 4 of them, don't meet and misappropriate those funds and disappear into thin air. That we shall regulate that space in a particular way, Mr. Speaker, that ensures that the savings and the earnings of the members of that particular society or cooperative, Mr. Speaker, is guaranteed. And that is part and parcel of the things that we are trying to do. We have even provided the space for county assembly legislations, Mr. Speaker, with regards to this particular bill, because we do this with the full realization that there are 2 levels of government. There is what the national government can do and what the county government ought to do with regards to regulations of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, and the kind of support that they can channel to our cooperatives. Therefore, this bill in entirety, Mr. Speaker, it seeks to amend actually Cap 2A and to provide the timelines for making regulations to ensure implementation of laws passed by Parliament, Mr. Speaker. Secondly, just 1 minute, Mr. Speaker, I referred to the wrong notes, Mr. Speaker, that this bill is to provide the legal framework that promotes a sustainable and competitive cooperative sector for socio-economic development, Mr. Speaker, in a devolved system of governments. More specifically, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to provide for matters relating to, number 1, promotion, number 2, registration, and more importantly, number 3, regulation of cooperatives, and to give life to Article 186 of the 4th schedule of the Constitution. Further, this bill establishes the following offices: the Office of the Commissioner for Cooperatives Development at the national level, and the Office of the County Director for Cooperatives at the county government level, and to provide for the intergovernmental cooperation at both levels. Very important, Mr. Speaker. It is not possible to regulate our circles from here in Nairobi. That's part of where the problem was, because Nairobi will just send a fellow from, I don't know which part of the country, Senator Boni, to come to Kakamega and sit at the head office in Kakamega and expect that he will have interest over a cooperative society deep in Malinya, where you come from. That fellow will never have interest. They don't care. They just wait for the 30th to take their salary. But if you have a son of the soil or a daughter of the soil, Senator Boni Alwale, who knows that it is in their best interest for cooperatives in that county to succeed, Mr. Speaker, they will move around. They understand the cultural dynamics of that particular part of the country. They know the sensitivities. They know that you cannot arrange this and put together. They can even visit members and speak to them in a dialect that they understand on the importance of the cooperative movement, Mr. Speaker. And I like that departure of the realization. I like bills such as this, Mr. Speaker, that appreciates that there are 2 levels of government. That much as we are one people, we are equally distinct as well. That there are certain things which, if Senator Boni Alwale does, they'll be okay in Kakamega. But if I was to do them in Kericho, I'll run into trouble. And vice versa, Mr. Speaker. And that is who God made us to be. And I appreciate that when we pass laws, Mr. Speaker, that buy into that particular kind of arrangement, Mr. Speaker. Cooperatives, like I've said, they play a fundamental role in the social economic development by harnessing the collective economic participation. You promote financial inclusion, and they support local enterprise, Mr. Speaker, ensuring that local economy works, and I have explained. Part 1, which comprises of clause 1 to 5, Mr. Speaker, these are just ordinary provisions of a bill, which is the title, the objects, and the guiding principles. Part 2, which is clause 6 to 18, Mr. Speaker, it contains the provisions for the establishment of those offices that are mentioned: the national government, the county government offices, and the intergovernmental cooperative relationship technical forum for knowledge and skill transfer, Mr. Speaker, so that you can exchange notes with the cooperative officer. If in another life, Mr. Speaker, when you and Senator Cherargei are no longer senators in this house, you can be the director for cooperatives at your counties, and you exchange information about how why your farmers, Mr. Speaker. I don't know why you are laughing and you're imagining that it's a small job. This is a very important job, Mr. Speaker, because you are in charge of thousands of farmers, for example, and their affairs, Mr. Speaker. You will be able to tell Senator Cherargei why, instead of building a huge building and calling it, I don't know what, creameries in Nandi, it would have made sense for them first, Mr. Speaker, to build a stronger cooperative movement such as the one that we see in Meru meeting yearly. And then after, Mr. Speaker, you have secured the raw material, Mr. Speaker, then now you put together a bigger building. Stones, walls, Mr. Speaker, don't grow economies. It is people, Mr. Speaker, that grow economies. The bigger challenge for counties, Mr. Speaker, is this obsession with brick and mortar, where you just want to put up a building. I said the same about Kipes a few minutes ago, Mr. Speaker, that, you know, we have told counties that put together a building of 500 million shillings, but have not taken time to ask them, what is it that those counties will be selling? What will Nandi be selling in its Kipe? What will Kericho be putting in the Kipe that is being built in Kapsorok, Mr. Speaker? And the same can be said of all our 47 county governments. Therefore, we must stop this obsession with brick and mortar, Mr. Speaker, and invest in people first. Supply the raw material. Let it be in abundance. Then we now start struggling about how to collect it and organize it in a better way so that we're able to access markets within and without of the Republic, Mr. Speaker. Part 3 of the bill, which is clause 19 to 27, this provides provisions for the structure of cooperatives in Kenya. Members will take time to read and appreciate. Part 4, Mr. Speaker, which is clause 28 to 43, it's provisions for registration of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, so that you ensure that when a cooperative is registered, Mr. Speaker, what are the transition provisions so that somebody doesn't run away the way our colleague, and is not here, Senator Maanzo, disappeared with the ODM certificate in 2007, Mr. Speaker. That has happened in cooperatives many times, where the founder member, Mr. Speaker, disappears with the certificate and say, this was mine, yet they were doing it actually in trust. That process has been streamlined in clause 28 of this particular bill. Part 5, Mr. Speaker, includes clause 44 to 50, which contains provisions on the rights and liabilities of members. What members are able to do. You know, previously, I have seen members, you know, KTDA, for example, Mr. Speaker, and you and I are representatives of farmers. We have KTDA factories in our counties. KTDAs are forms of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, because it is farmers that have come together, they put up a factory, Mr. Speaker, and they have handed over management of that particular factory to a managing agent called KTDA. That's a form of a cooperative, much as they are governed under the Companies Act, Mr. Speaker, and that is something that we were not able to resolve when we were passing the tea legislation in this House. And I hope, Mr. Speaker, that this term of Parliament, we can actually provide clarity, because I don't think anything that is owned by multitude, you want to subject it to the same set of laws with a company that is owned by either a sole proprietor or 3 or 4 individuals. These are companies that are owned by thousands of people, and therefore I believe they should be governed more, actually, by the Cooperative Act more than companies, Mr. Speaker. That is why you find an innocent farmer in Kubu, Mr. Speaker. When they walk to the factory next door, even the watchman alone can stop them from accessing the factory. Yet that particular farmer is the owner of that factory through their contribution of tea that they give to that particular factory each year. We have provided for the rights and liabilities of members in our cooperatives in this section clauses 55 to 66, Mr. Speaker. 67 and 68 provides for amalgamation and division of cooperatives, the various types of cooperatives that you have. What is it that is a smaller cooperative and a larger one, Mr. Speaker? We didn't want to lump all of them together. A cooperative such as yours, the one that I've given as a perfect example, or Imarisha and Kericho, Mr. Speaker, that has tens of thousands of members, cannot be governed by the same set of laws, for example, like Kapsoit Boda Boda, the one I fundraised a few days ago for, Mr. Speaker, that has hardly a few hundred members, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, we have provided for the classification of the various cooperatives that exist. Under Part 11, Mr. Speaker, which is a provision for charges on cooperatives, and there is inquiry, inspection, Mr. Speaker, and the special powers of the Cooperatives Tribunal. Mr. Speaker, we are setting up the Cooperatives Tribunal, and I hope these tribunals, Mr. Speaker, don't turn out to be toll stations, where when members dispute, if they are to form or lodge a complaint, Mr. Speaker, then it is just the highest bidder that is listened to. It must be manned by men and women, Mr. Speaker, of great integrity, who understand that they are dealing, Mr. Speaker, with ordinary citizens who may not have the force, Mr. Speaker, to do many of the things that are being looked at under this particular law. So, Mr. Speaker, this is a very comprehensive piece of legislation. And I hope that members will take time to appreciate, read it, give their comments, Mr. Speaker, including on the tribunal, Mr. Speaker, and when the tribunal, for example, in section 131(2), I just wanted to read that particular part to make this case, that where the Cooperatives Tribunal enters judgment in terms of award together with cost, it shall issue a decree which shall be enforceable as a decree of a tribunal, Mr. Speaker. Just giving it powers, you know. And what happens if you fail to attend a cooperative tribunal, Mr. Speaker, and what will happen, and so on and so forth, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge members that we support this particular bill. Share your thoughts, Senator Osotsi. I know, for example, you are very actively involved with the cooperatives in Vihiga, including the Boda Boda one. One of the best performing, actually, in the country is the one. Those gentlemen from your county, they were in my county when we were fundraising for the ones in Kapsoit that I mentioned. And they extended an invitation to me, said when we will be having such a function in Vihiga, we will invite you. I think it's in the next few days, Mr. Speaker. Actually, it's this weekend, if I'm not wrong, Mr. Speaker. You must make sure that you make comments and tighten the cooperative space so that the funds that you raise for them on Saturday end up benefiting the members, as well as so many other cooperatives that are in your county. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, this is an important piece of legislation which I want to urge colleague members to support and reach and ensure that we guide our cooperative space for the betterment of our country. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I beg to move and request the Senator for Kakamega, the whip of the majority side, Mr. Speaker, to second. I thank you.
Senator Dr. Mboni Karware, the majority whip.
Mr. Speaker, it is both an honor and privilege that I'm seconding this very important bill. Because, Mr. Speaker, had it not been for the cooperative effort, I would never have owned a home in Nairobi. Myself. No, I'm not like you, Mr. Speaker, who is a dynasty from a Mira-selling family. Mr. Speaker, cooperatives mean many things, indeed many things. And listening to the leader of the majority speak, I want us to think much more. He has severally referred, Mr. Speaker, to the self-organization of members of cooperatives to raise funds. And he has mentioned numerous occasions when he's been to initiatives of fundraising for this initiative, up to and including the one that he will do back home in Vihiga this weekend. Leader of the majority, you are most welcome. And please come with good money. Because as you know, I was whispering in your ear last month that your transformation into a mogul is truly celebrated by me, who has a son your age. And therefore the proceeds of your mogul industry, when they come to Vihiga this weekend, will be very grateful. But more seriously, Mr. Speaker, what do I mean by we should think it further? We cannot expect to achieve equity by relying on Harambee. I know, because he's a man of many networks, any politician who becomes the guest of honor at a serious function like this has got connections in several offices of government. So if it is from government that some of the monies that they donate in those Harambees they get, then we should restructure the government so that everybody who is sufficiently organized, who demonstrates understanding and existence of the cooperative effort, should have access to that funding. Mr. Speaker, this is no different from the effort by all senators led by the Senator of Kiambu, young Karungu Thambwe, who is struggling that we amalgamate all bursary efforts so that all funds that can help children who require money can be taken back to the Ministry of Education and education be made free. The reason for this is because the thinking which we support in this bursary issue is because we want to see every child have an equal opportunity to bursaries. And the best way is just to use those monies to make education free. And because we cannot make something like cooperative free, let us think deeper, harder, longer, so that we see how the state can, quote unquote, provide seed money for people who want to cooperate. Mr. Speaker, just like all of you, you cannot be in politics and lack in your cap a feather of what you have done for the cooperative effort in this country. Mr. Speaker, the country is laden with cases of success, just as it is with cases of failure and conmanship. I hope that with this law, we will now make it easier for people to have confidence in the safety of their funds. Because the people who are in charge of the cooperative movement at whatever level, community level, whichever levels we shall put, the end result is they end up stealing money meant for these people. My daughter was doing internship years ago with the, you normally remind me the names of these things, this body that brings cooperatives together, Cusco, housed at Upper Hill here. And my daughter used to look very nice there, working there, and I had a lot of respect for them, only to learn later on that the blocks who had been in charge of that union had been stealing. They have stolen billions of shillings from cooperatives. It is extremely unfortunate. So, Mr. Speaker, if the controls, because we have not gone through with a tooth comb in this bill, are not there, we will put them there. And if they are there and they are not tight enough, Mr. Speaker, we are going to tighten them. We want the cooperative effort to be a success. I remember, Mr. Speaker, in 2003, as a young dashing parliamentarian, I had a discussion with now Director, maybe, and clerk at the desk. We had come here, had just come as a young member of parliament, and he had just been employed here. In fact, I can confirm that he did not have even a beard when he was here. And he was telling me about the success of the cooperative movement back in Central Province. And having been a son of Western, because he went to school at Mukumu High School, and his uncle had a good business in Kakamega town, we were friends. So I went back, and the first thing I did, I wanted to learn from Central. And Mr. Speaker, I went to the Boda Boda. And in 2003, Boda Boda was not a motorbike. In 2003, Mr. Speaker, Boda Boda were bicycles. So I took 100,000 shillings and put in the Ikolomani bicycle Boda Boda. My political opponent then went and called the same boys and told them that this man is playing around with the effort. How can he ask you to be contributing money to put in that kitty? What he should have done, he should have given you the 100,000 shillings, you share amongst yourselves. That is leadership for you. It is the leadership that kills noble initiatives, noble initiatives like this one, Mr. Speaker. Similarly, Mr. Speaker, when we were trying to woo members of the public to accept His Excellency William Ruto as a possible case for a good president, I remember we had a big fundraising in Muliro Gardens in Kakamega, and the president supported us, then deputy president supported us in our relationship. We did very well. We went on and bought a commercial vehicle, which is still in existence and for which we are grateful. All these young people want is to be organized. And it is today a big pleasure, Mr. Speaker, that we are creating the office of the Commissioner of Cooperatives. Since cooperatives are principally at the county level, it's good that we have accepted that this office should only be at Nairobi, but appreciating the fact that they are the counties that are going to be in control of these cooperatives, and therefore the creation of the county directors. I'm glad, Mr. Speaker, in this bill, there's been an attempt to recognize the fact that if we don't coordinate the activities at the national with the activities at the county levels, we'll fall on our face flat. And therefore, this intergovernmental structure which has been put in this bill, leader of the majority, is a very good thing. But when I look at the membership of that structure, leader of the majority, it begs for an amendment. The commissioner, a member, that's okay. The directors in the 47 counties, that's okay. But when it comes to a person appointed by the governor, I want to request and persuade you, we shouldn't give the governor that kind of latitude. He has sufficient latitude to appoint many other people. Let this be an institutional self-sustaining process so that since the County Public Service Board, the County Public Service Board, Mr. Speaker, will be having a say in the appointment of the county director of cooperatives. Instead of the governor appointing some other stranger, probably a relative, probably a girlfriend, the way they normally do, Mr. Speaker, allow the chairman of the County Public Service Board to be the one to sit on this intergovernmental body, so that it is automatic, so that the chairman of the board is independent when he's there, rather than when you have picked a character who has come there at the pleasure of the governor of the respective county. Mr. Speaker, This is the amendment I propose in clause 16 that says there shall be a commissioner, shall be the commissioner with the chairperson of this committee, 47 county directors of cooperatives, the chief executive officer of the authority, and an officer appointed by the Council of Governors. No. County chairs of county public service board. Mr. Speaker, having said this, I can see an effort in this bill in clause 20 where under the structure of cooperatives in Kenya, we have created primary cooperatives, secondary cooperatives, cooperative federations, and the ABEX cooperative. Mr. Speaker, this is a very visionary classification. It is the lack of clarity in the structure of cooperatives that opens up members to being conned. That, for example, in the primary classification, you have put from A to B all the way to G, the specifications of what a primary cooperative is something that is even a greater reason for us to celebrate this. Let me use the example, Mr. Speaker, of a primary cooperative in the sector of producer cooperatives. This shall be a cooperative registered under this Act with the objects of production, processing, marketing, and marketing of members' produce. This is useful so that people in the production industry do not end up getting confused, for example, with their monies being heaped together with people from, say, the cooperative sector. I say this with a degree of nostalgia because I remember when I was a little boy of 10 years, our then Member of Parliament had this vision. So he created a Kolomani Cooperative Society at the same time that Kitunguri Cooperative Society was created when I was a 10-year-old schoolboy. And out of this, every Friday, so that our parents could be encouraged to take care and like breeded animals, we used to be given cheese at school so that we go home and tell our parents cheese comes from milk. Milk which is produced in large amounts by graded cows. And that cooperative took off. But because of mismanagement, the Ikolomani Cooperative Society at Lirembe then collapsed. But the Kitunguri one went on and succeeded. The Speaker, if there is a senator here who has never been to the Fresher Farm in Kitunguri, they have one of the most developed, fantastic cooperative society of dairy. You know, Senator Cherargei, those jokes you see in Nandi and in Kakamega, we are neighbors. It is not the case in Kitunguri. In Kitunguri, people I saw, I hope it's still the case today, people deliver milk, and on the strength of the milk you have delivered, you can actually be given a voucher to go and collect food. You're given a voucher to go and take to school and pay school fees, and it will be discounted on the milk that you deliver at the cooperative society. We went there, Mr. Speaker, before and after the advent of Mungiki. Sometimes I hear the former deputy president talk about violence in his Wamanyoro meetings, and I say, indeed, ignorance is bliss. Mr. Speaker, I see the violence that has never been witnessed in the central part of this country, now repeated almost every weekend in funerals and rallies and what have you, and I say, indeed, ignorance is bliss. I want to appeal to the senators from the Mountain Kenya region. You are going the wrong route. Because I remember, these children you now want to militarize. Some joker militarized them into Mungiki, and I went in Mitunguri, and the ladies would talk in my ear quietly. We normally see you on TV. Please help us. Mungiki is finishing us. So I ask her, what does it do? He says, when you milk, you must declare how many liters of milk you milk to your cow. And Mungiki will either come with an entitlement of 1 liter or 2 liters. If you don't, your cow is gone. Let us do politics, but not politics of militarization of our youth. It is extremely dangerous. And having said that, may I also inform the former deputy president, who is a good friend of mine. We campaigned with him for many, many months to win the presidency in 2022. That 2027, we are going to do everything to make sure that the election of 2027 is peaceful. We cannot imagine a situation whereby our children should start fighting each other because one person or the other has lost the presidential election. That one I refuse. And I want to tell the former deputy president he's playing with fire. When members from his community then started facing the wrath of the proponents of post-election violence in 2007, 2008, he was nowhere. We were the ones who were on the Kibaki side who bore the burden of protecting these patriotic Kenyans who were doing business and have settled in Kakamega. It is a route we can never go, we shall not allow, and we will fight to ensure that the election 2027 will be free, fair, and peaceful. Mr. Speaker, we say these things with a degree of patriotism. Maybe, I don't know, some of you have 2 children, maximum 3. So in the event of the country bursting, you will quickly look for 5 passports, 1 for yourself, 1 for your wife, and 3 for your children. How about me? I will not know where child X is, child J is, child Y is. I would die out of worries, Mr. Speaker. I need peace so that my children, wherever they be, I'm assured that they're okay. I'm serious. I'm telling you. It is a thought that I cannot entertain in my mind. Mr. Speaker, the wives are adults, but my children, I can kill you for them. The wives could very well take care of themselves. Mr. Speaker, I cannot end my contribution in seconding this motion without mentioning something about CS Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is not my friend. Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya is one man against whom we have competed longest in my career. And therefore, we are serious political adversaries. Thank God the elders brought us together sometime last year and we buried the Hajjet. It is going to remain that way. Why I want to celebrate Oparanya is that Oparanya has breathed new life into this ministry. In fact, there are people who think this ministry of cooperative only came around when His Excellency President William Ruto made Oparanya minister. This ministry has always been there, leader of the majority. But all of a sudden, Oparanya is there and is doing a good job. This is why sometimes I want to disagree with my younger brother Edwin when he doubts that Baba gave President William Ruto experts to help him run the government. I think it is true because Oparanya is behaving like a typical expert in members of cooperative. I mean, I have seen the coffee sector, which was there pre-independence in Kakamega, in Vihiga, in Bungoma, and many other parts of the country, especially in Nyanza and Western. They had all died. But Oparanya, every day on social media, I see he's there, he's doing this, he's doing that. We must give him space, I only want to urge members of the National Assembly Budget and Appropriation Committee to make sure that they put sufficient funds at the disposal of CS Oparanya so that we have enough funds. I appreciate the fact that there is something they call the cherry fund, but we should have enough funds to make sure that farmers who want now to rejuvenate, to reinvigorate these factories of coffee can now be able to get good seedlings. And I would like to urge members of the farming community, especially those interested in coffee in Kakamega, not to be in a hurry, just because of the hype which I can see going on now, to plant seedlings. I have had an opportunity to sit with the Senator of Kirinyaga, who appears to understand coffee farming very much, Mr. Speaker, and he has confirmed that if you prepare, get the right seedling, measure it against the soils and so on, your plant grows much faster. With those many remarks, Mr. Speaker, I second.
Honorable Senators, I propose the question that the Cooperatives Bill, National Assembly Bills number 7 of 2024, be now read a second time. We now open the session for debate, and we start with Senator Danson Mungatana, Senator Okech Endi. You are next after Senator Gicheru. No, he was here quite early before you. And I don't know why you're questioning the chair. Senator Chergey.
Chair Senator Chergey is questioning you.
You might fail to get a chance to debate this afternoon.
Senator Chergey must not question the chair. Mr. Speaker, I want to rise and on the onset support this bill, Mr. Speaker, that has been moved by the Majority Leader, and say that the cooperative movement, Mr. Speaker, is one of the best structures of organization in business terms that lift societies, Mr. Speaker. And this bill seeks to put a legal framework that will ensure that there is proper governance for cooperatives in the country, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, cooperatives have played a very big role in our society in making sure that businesses are started well, are resilient, are sustainable, and more importantly, can grow to greater heights, Mr. Speaker. But one thing that has always been elusive to us as a country is the governance of cooperatives. Because long time, Mr. Speaker, when especially the cooperative movement started in the agri products, Mr. Speaker, the challenge has been that the idea of governance has been left to the national level. Of course, this has been by large because of the fact that we have had a unitary government for a long time before devolution. But even in the advent of devolution, Mr. Speaker, cooperatives have remained governed by the national government. Yet the core and the essence of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, is to help small and medium enterprises particularly, which actually was the core of the Kenya Kwanza Manifesto, to look at the micro enterprises, small, medium, and sometimes growing businesses in our country, Mr. Speaker, with the idea of undoing the challenges that these businesses are facing, Mr. Speaker. And those challenges, it has been proven time without number
that those challenges are best addressed within cooperatives. Yet these businesses exist in the local communities where we come from. They are in the counties. They are in the constituencies. They are in the wards where we come from. But then if you look at the governance structure, the legal infrastructure that defines cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, you find that it is only at the national level that they have been regulated over time. So this is the first bill, Mr. Speaker, that seeks to give life to Article 186 of the Constitution, which sometimes back when the Constitution was being done, saw a nexus between the national government and the county governments in the running of some of affairs such as the cooperatives that we're seeing right now, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I don't see any good bill that will be better than this in terms of that giving just that legal framework that encompasses counties to be able to give them a life in the control of cooperatives, Mr. Speaker. For far too long, Mr. Speaker, cooperatives in this country have faced the problems of financing as the biggest one, to the extent that specifically you've seen SACCOs coming in place, which is a subset of cooperatives, that SACCOs have been innovative around the idea of creating credit facilities as well as saving facilities. And Mr. Speaker, you will see that a number of those SACCOs that we have seen in our borders have ended up changing lives to the extent that most of the informal business that we see today, or people who are still in the informal economy, over 70% of our country, Mr. Speaker, is still in the informal economy. If you look at the number of people who are employed and taxed in this country, Mr. Speaker, it's barely 30%. And that informal economy, the Juakali sector, the border sector that right now NTSA has given as having 1.5 million people in our borders, Mr. Speaker, those people can only make sense of growing their businesses within some form of a SACCO, which has specifically chosen the line of financial services and being able to help its members to figure out those financial services. And Mr. Speaker, even last week, we were with a number of senators from this House who I want to thank very much. And I know that, Mr. Speaker, your contribution also reached the people of Migori, and your message was well home with the people of Migori. I know you were traveling in Israel last week, but then you saw the sense of being able to organize the Migori people who are in the border industry in SACCOs, where, Mr. Speaker, you won't imagine they might look like little circles where they don't have proper financing to help them acquire borders, where the cost of borders tend to be very expensive. Yet, Mr. Speaker, when they organize themselves in those small circles, they are able to lend each other money, and they are able to support one another to acquire one more and two more and three more borders within their circles. And last week, Mr. Speaker, through the effort of colleagues in this Senate, we were in Migori County to help the border circles of Migori, and we raised 12 million. In a place where in their circles they used to borrow from each other in their small constituencies, maybe 50 shillings, now we have expanded that tenfold, that they're going to borrow and lend one another even up to 50,000, which, Mr. Speaker, is enough to give a deposit to get a border from Watu Credit, to get a border from Mogo, or to get a border from Progressive and other financiers that are in the market, Mr. Speaker. So the role of cooperatives, as demonstrated by SACCOs, Mr. Speaker, cannot be understated. And the whip, majority whip, Senator Boni Alwale has just spoken about how cooperative movement have changed even the lives of farmers who are giving business sense in the milk industry on the mountain where you come from, Mr. Speaker, from the mountain. And you can see how this can transform the lives of our people. Yet the challenges of governance and mismanagement of SACCOs, Mr. Speaker, have constantly remained with cooperative movements, to the extent that mismanagement of those cooperatives are not just based on lack of proper leadership and vision to cooperatives, but also to the extent that when members contribute to these cooperatives, they end up losing sometimes their own contributions into the cooperatives. And we have seen time without number, Mr. Speaker, that it is not only the local cooperatives that are struggling, but even the larger governing bodies at the national level that makes it impossible for cooperatives to have a sustainable way of corporate governance. This is an issue that can be made better with proper regulation that does not only look at national government's role, but also the county government's roles, which is what this bill seeks to address in terms of giving life to Article 186 of the Constitution. Mr. Speaker, we have also seen time without number because by the sense that SACCOs are always built by members who come from these localities, local communities, not as vibrant in terms of business acumen as compared to bigger companies or bigger businesses that have found footing in our economy, Mr. Speaker. The SACCOs tend to have a serious lack of capacity and a serious lack of skills in terms of what would make their, not only the SACCOs, but also the cooperatives tend to lack that capacity and skills in terms of what would make them be more business competitive. And this happens, Mr. Speaker, not because of lack of exposure of members, but because of lack of avenues for incentives and support by the governance structure at a national level that is only keen to make sure that they are oversighted, but not giving them support. I think, Mr. Speaker, with what is proposed in this bill, that support can come where we have got a county body working together with a national body and being able to give this support to cooperatives in our communities, Mr. Speaker. One that is close to my heart, Mr. Speaker, is that because traditionally the cooperatives that we have seen, among them, Mr. Speaker, we have just been told about the milk industry, some we have seen in the form of sugarcane industry, but they've not done very well as compared to sometimes even the maize industry. Mr. Speaker, one of the biggest challenges we have had with SACCOs is a generational gap. There is no legal framework that requires for proper transitions, for proper engagement with generational change in SACCOs, Mr. Speaker. If you look at where you come from, Mr. Speaker, and you studied the cooperatives, from where you come from from the mountain and central Kenya, Mr. Speaker, you'll find that most of the people in the milk cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, are quite elderly people because it has been traditionally been seen as a place of owners of capital. And owners of capital here will be people who own the land, people who own the animals, people who own the factors of production that ended up defining the business in the locality that then made it possible for those circles to mushroom. And, Mr. Speaker, partly also is because young people in most of the cooperatives that you have in the country, those jobs don't seem lucrative to young people. So, for instance, agriculture becomes somewhere that young people don't want to venture in. And therefore, they miss becoming members of these cooperatives. And, Mr. Speaker, that generational gap is a very dangerous one for our country, Mr. Speaker, if not given life by this kind of legislation. Because when there is no succession planning in these cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, then the SACCOs becomes just avenues for building businesses for subsistence, but not building businesses that have got commercial viability that can compete, not just at a national level, but even at a global stage. And the first attempt by this bill, if you look at the sections that are brought about governance in the counties to work with governance in the national level, Mr. Speaker, will be able to solve and cope for some of these issues that are elusive to building strong cooperatives, Mr. Speaker. And to some extent, Mr. Speaker, those challenges have also gone to gender gaps. Mr. Speaker, you've seen a number of cooperatives that are run within our villages. They tend to be male-dominated. And the reason is what I just talked about. Because they are small businesses that are not following the corporate structure of bigger businesses, the owners of capital who tend to be men in our communities tend to dominate those circles. With proper legal framework that is being proposed by this bill, then you can be able to solve for these issues. The idea of solving for those weak legislation within the cooperatives will be enhanced by this particular bill. The idea of solving for weak leadership in cooperatives will be enhanced by this bill. But if we pass this particular legislation, Mr. Speaker, I am sure that we will have circles that start having vision, that start having proper mission, that are still, I will start running with proper business practices like we've seen in cooperatives that are in other countries, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I must also add my voice because of what I've talked about in terms of generational gap. Mr. Speaker, today, if you were to think about a replacement of banks in our country, because our country has done very well in terms of just thinking about financial services. You know, if you go to places like the United States, or even by large in Europe, most people who have tried to do businesses tend to depend on two things, Mr. Speaker. Number one is proper line of credit from banks. The banking institutions have been very big, and to the extent that even daily expenses are found within a credit card. So people tend to depend on credit card, both for consumption for business, enterprises, as well as just individual subsistence, Mr. Speaker. And number two, there is a stronger investment in venture support. You hear about venture investment, venture capitalists, who can be able to identify a business, and after identifying a business, then they go ahead and invest in those businesses. We do not have strong venture capital environment in Kenya. We don't have strong venture businesses that people can place capital and be able to support business in Kenya. So it means that when we have got very strong youth bulge in Kenya that we see today, a number of young people leaving school and wanting to start a small business, even just by having a camera. We have seen very good young ladies from schools as well as young men from schools going to start to train themselves in a way that then they use the camera to start a business, Mr. Speaker. The best way to support them is to ensure that we don't put them in a perpetual state of politics, perpetual state of, radicalizing young people with language that I hear from people like the former deputy president calling on young people to, take arms and start being violent, Mr. Speaker. But the best way is to make sure that these young people can be put into cooperatives and be supported if this kind of bill passes this kind of house, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I want to say categorically that this is a very good bill that I think we must support very fast. And, Mr. Speaker, I wanted to beg this House that even as we support it, Mr. Speaker, we ensure that some of the classes that have been put together can be able to take advantage to make sure that that governance structure that is being proposed here, Mr. Speaker. If you look at part 2 of the bill and part 3 of the bill, Mr. Speaker, we can be able to have some amendment, and I wish the majority was here, to think about if people abide by the framework that has been proposed here, why can't we talk about enabling these cooperatives have a tax advantage? So that, Mr. Speaker, the cooperative can be able to be exempted from some taxation and some concessions that can end up make it difficult for them to actually thrive when they haven't made good money from the pooling of resources by members, Mr. Speaker. I also think that, Mr. Speaker, because we are now devolving the governance to the grassroots level, Mr. Speaker, there is an opportunity from this bill for an amendment to make sure that we can be able to interrogate the cost of running this cooperative, Mr. Speaker, by lowering the transaction structures that membership must then be able to put. Because some of the costs of registering cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, that we have seen, because it's being housed nationally for the longest term, those costs tend to cater for those facets. But now with this organization that now we are taking cooperatives governance to the grassroots, to combine national and county government elements, then I think there's opportunity, Mr. Speaker, of being able to require that if this framework passes, then we can be able to reduce the cost of transactions in those circles, Mr. Speaker. But circles exist, Mr. Speaker, to build businesses then that access market. The question of market, Mr. Speaker, I also think that I'll be moving an amendment in consultation with the majority leader, if possible, of rethinking the market power of SACCOs. I mean, not SACCOs, but cooperative in general. I know I'm very keen on SACCOs because SACCOs are the subset that is very strong, Mr. Speaker, and I keep on using them interchangeably. But SACCOs in particular, but cooperative in general, Mr. Speaker, we must be able to look at a way of making sure that the products that are given by these cooperatives that we are going to support through this bill do not face the injurious element of market dominance by more established businesses. What do I mean, Mr. Speaker, by this? We have seen even some laws that have been passed in this house, in these houses of parliament, Mr. Speaker, in the past, where cooperatives in the milk industry will face the challenges of monopolies in the milk industry, who then will require some ridiculous standards of which kind of milk and which kind of equipment that must somebody use to get their milk to market, that only plays to the disadvantage of those cooperatives in the grassroots, Mr. Speaker. These are three areas, Mr. Speaker, that I think if we focus on in terms of amendments, we'll make sure that the cooperatives that we're talking about through this legal framework are supported properly and are managed properly because of that framework that encompasses counties in general and national government in general in terms of democratizing the governance of SACCOs, Mr. Speaker. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, allow me to sit down. As I say, I support this bill that has been put forward by the majority leader, and I look forward, Mr. Speaker, to its life in ensuring that cooperatives within our borders will be stronger and will have a proper environment for business sustainability. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Samson Cherargei.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for this opportunity. I want to allow me to make a few comments on the National Assembly Bill number 7 of 2024. Mr. Speaker, this is significant. You know, cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, is devolved, and I expected this bill to originate from the Senate, but maybe, but so long as we are taking the same direction, I think that is important, Mr. Speaker, and I hope in future we should ensure that we go in a way of fast-tracking the National Assembly bills. Also, the Senate bills must be fast-tracked. Mr. Speaker, the origin of cooperative movement in this country started way back in 1908 through formation of dairy sectors by the white settlers. It is in Africa, it is Arambe, it is Ujamaa coming together, and I think in some cases, the issue of pooling resources together. Mr. Speaker, most of us are able to do even our small investments, scarcity of cooperative societies that we run in this. Mr. Speaker, I speak as a former vice chairperson of Parliamentary SACCO, and also as the director of Parliamentary SACCO, or PACOSA as you call it. And I can tell from the members the way they have spoken, the support of the SACCOs in this country is very critical. Even as members of parliament, we have our own SACCO. There is also Bunge SACCO, there is Police SACCO, there is Teacher SACCO. So, Speaker, it assists many of the investments that you see, even ownership of small investment. Even some of the projects, the small projects some of us do, we do it courtesy of the SACCO. So it means we must pool resources, Mr. Speaker. So as a farmer, cooperative movement must be revived. And I'm happy Cabinet Secretary Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya, Governor, and the current CS should push and ensure we have more resources to revive and jumpstart most of the cooperative society. You and me come from a farming community where we need this cooperative to ensure our farmers, Mr. Speaker, get an opportunity of ensuring Mr. Speaker, that we have opportunity of ensuring that cooperative farmers get opportunity. Mr. Speaker, when you look at this bill, I can see they have tried to address the issue of registration, regulation, supervision, standardization. Mr. Speaker, even how liquidation process of most of these cooperative societies. What plagues cooperative societies in this country? There are many challenges, and I want to agree that we should prevent cooperative societies from going under because of poor leadership, poor governance, and also corruption that is killing most of it. Look at the coffee sector. Look at the dairy sector. What killed KCC? What killed cooperative of coffee? What killed most of the cooperative? Now we have border circles. We have matatu circles, Mr. Speaker, that even now we have border circles, a number of them. We have cooperative, especially dairy, like Lelchego, Tankin, and Kabie dairies, Mr. Speaker. Number of cooperative like Kipsiele, Coffee Cooperative, Kabunyeria, some in Taunet, some in Aldai, Mr. Speaker, so that it makes, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and therefore as a country we must pool resources together for the benefit of all of us, Mr. Speaker, going into the future, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you remember today in the morning when I was in the talk show, when I was in Citizen at the State of the Nation, we must as a country also be disciplined. This issue of indiscipline, corruption, and bad manners and bad governance should not thrive in our country. Even when you are not, even when you are an activist, whether you are an activist, whether you are a director of a cooperative society, Mr. Speaker, and I told the country that one of the activists will resurface today, and they have resurfaced today, Mr. Speaker, and I was very right, that in this country, the bad manners should not be exported to our neighboring countries like Tanzania, like Uganda, and many others, Mr. Speaker. In fact, I want to challenge Muhoozi Kainerugaba, the CDF of the Uganda, the Chief of Defense Forces of Uganda, Muhoozi Kainerugaba, and President Museveni to be on the lookout for activists who have, you know, they are so used, Mr. Speaker, of indiscipline that they want to export outside the country, Mr. Speaker. So we must ensure we don't transport bad manners to cooperative movement in this. He attended, and I've read the bill, and I know whether the senior counsel has read. One of the essence of this bill is to create and ensure education, training, information, and cooperative capacity development for cooperative directors and CEOs who will run these cooperative societies, Mr. Speaker, and even certification and accreditation. Mr. Speaker, if we want to achieve, we must ensure that the Cooperative University of Kenya is anchored in this bill so that we have a standardized way of accrediting and standardization, because you can imagine if directors of cooperative are trained differently across the country, we'll never have a standardized format of looking at it. So this is the opportune time, Ministry, and I'll be bringing an amendment so that we anchor the Cooperative University as one of the training centers, one of capacity development centers for development of our cooperative directors and CEO who will run these cooperatives, Mr. Speaker, and ensure also they assist us as part of governance, Mr. Speaker. In cooperative governance, we must relook at it, Mr. Speaker. So I want to challenge that we must anchor the Cooperative University of Kenya as part of the people who will, and I'll bring an amendment to ensure we have issues of accreditation, standardization, training, capacity building, and research. And this is one of the only universities that we have in the country that we must anchor to allow us to train. And I think, Mr. Speaker, going into the future, let us also specialize some of these universities. I remember JKUAT was supposed to be agricultural training, including Egerton. We need to ensure, you know, universities are going under. And you know, Senator Omogeni, many people have challenged the university funding model. The reason now most universities are struggling, Mr. Speaker, is because, Mr. Speaker, underfunding. And the president brought a model of university funding that should revive most of these universities, Mr. Speaker. I don't agree what Moi University management did yesterday or a few days ago, that they sacked more than 800 staff in Moi University. That is, I am alma of Moi University, Mr. Speaker, the School of Law. matter of Moi University. What is happening in Moi University is very unfortunate. I want to ask the management, not you, how do you fire 800 people who have dependents and families who have worked with the university for the last 15 to 20 years? Mr. Speaker, even those universities, Moi University used to have what we call MUSCO. They also used to have cooperative society, and most of the lecturers and workers within Moi University use cooperatives to acquire the little investment. So I want to challenge the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Labor, the Senate of the University Council of Moi University to revoke the firing and sacking of more than 800 workers who have stayed. Mr. Speaker, how do you fire somebody who has stayed more than 15 years without gratuity? And it is the same principle and breadth that we are saying don't fire UHC, Universal Health Coverage. And you remember I told the CS in charge of health that he should not fire or transfer UHC workers without proper terms of service, including gratuity, Mr. Speaker. It is the only listing we can do. Mr. Speaker, this country, we must be careful and we must be grateful. The UHC workers came out and confronted an animal called COVID when all of us were hiding. When this senator, that John, when the Senate and Parliament was doing virtual sittings, hiding in our homes, staying in our homes, doing social distance, the only people who came out and fought without a bullet and a gun were the UHC workers. How do we reward? I was sad, Mr. Speaker, when I saw them sleeping here in Kencom, in Afia Center, all night, Mr. Speaker. I want to appeal to the Council of Governors, the Ministry of Health, and His Excellency the President, to kindly President William Ruto. I know he's a man with a big heart to intervene on this issue of UHC so that our young men can be confirmed on permanent and pensionable, their gratuity which should be paid, just like we do in PNP, Mr. Speaker. So I'm saying because most of these organizations have cooperative movements, within even police, we want to see, Mr. Speaker, we want also to see, Mr. Speaker, the teachers' cooperative union, Mr. Speaker. Even Mwalimu Sacco, I know it had challenges in the past, Mr. Speaker. I saw yesterday the committee of the education demanded the medical cover of teachers. These movements are, Mr. Speaker, me and my mother is a P1 primary school teacher. It is courtesy of the Sacco that yours truly and the future president of this republic, I was able to go to school. The meager salary that my mother got as a primary school teacher could not take me to the great school of Kapsabet Boys High School if it was not for the Sacco that teachers have, Mr. Speaker. I would not be standing here. That is why I was able to go to Kapsabet Boys High School and later went to Moi University School of Law, courtesy of the teachers. I'm a proud son of a primary school teacher. My mother taught for many years, and she even later taught me in school, Mr. Speaker. The reason I'm saying I'm the future president is because Kapsabet Boys has produced two presidents. It has produced President Moi. It has produced President William Ruto. They say if you see quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So I have been to a school where presidents are being manufactured, Mr. Speaker. So the point I'm trying to make is that Sacco has assisted all of us. And that is why when I had the cooperative bills, I feel it personal, because it is out of cooperatives that you as truly, Mr. Speaker, who is also the Senator of the Republic of Kenya, elected by the great people of Nandi, and I want to dissuade your governor, Mr. Speaker, that when a senator questions, any senator in this, even you can question about Nandi. Senator Nyamira, he can question about Nairobi. Senator Vihiga can even oversight, and I'm happy with the speech he made in Garissa, during Garissa cultural event. But I want to request colleagues in future, as a sign of protest, you should not attend such events, because it's only consumed 40 million, Mr. Speaker. But I know he was being sent as the deputy party leader of ODM. He was there courtesy of Prime Minister Raila Odinga. So it is understandable. But I'm happy he said governor must answer to questions when he appears before the Senate, Mr. Speaker. And that is why, Mr. Speaker, we need to tell governors that the work of the Senate is to oversight the entire 47 governors, Mr. Speaker. And that is why yesterday I said there are 17 stall projects in Garissa that is worth for 5 or 4 million. It should complete. And that is why I was asking, what is the priority? Is it cultural event that costed 40 million, or is it 56 kilometers of water? Can you imagine Senator Omugeni Garissa Township, where the Tana River passes, there is no water. It is very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker. So we need to ensure that, and by the way, Senator Omugene's point of information, that 56 kilometers is called Baraki Malani water pipeline, of 56 kilometers in Lagdera sub-county, that has consumed 219.8 million. Just for your record, so that as you confer some of these issues, you are able. Mr. Speaker, number 3 is establishment of Office of the Commissioner of Cooperative Development. I agree, so that we have centralized engagement in terms of cooperatives. That's a good one, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'm happy that we have included the PPPs, private-public partnership. I agree. That is one of the functions of commission, so that we have centralized. Mr. Speaker, I know we have donors to new conditional funds and grants. Let them engage through PPP. If, for example, you know Denmark is biased towards dairy, Mr. Speaker, is dairy is biased towards dairy. Mr. Speaker, they should be able to be allowed under PPP to partner, for example, with farmers from Nandi, Mr. Speaker. As I said this, I'm sad, because the current governor of Nandi, Governor Sang, which has done the source of champions to source of corruption, is that he has built a Nandi cooperative creameries. Can you believe this, Mr. Speaker? Almost 1 billion, yet he has not even packaged a half a liter of milk. Even a correct factory should only consume 350 million, Mr. Speaker. It is very unfortunate that as we talk today, the farmers of Nandi, we have never gotten value, because Nandi, there are so many white elephants. In fact, do we call yellow elephants or still white elephants? Because Kabiet, which has Nandi creameries, has consumed almost 1 billion. Yet they did not buy land, Mr. Speaker. You go to newborn mother baby in Kapsabet Hospital, is tall. You go to Nandi Governor's office, is tall. Kobujai Hospital, which is stone thrown away from the Governor Sang home. God forbid if he gets a medical emergency. That project has stalled and has consumed almost 100 million Kenyan shillings. Just like Kapsengere, like Chepterwai, Kapsengere Dispensary, Chepterwai Hospital, Mr. Speaker. So it is very unfortunate that white elephants continue. I'm saying this because, for example, this issue of PPPs, if the coffee sector, avocado sector, Mr. Speaker, and also to ensure, promote, and develop frameworks for public-private partnerships, PPPs, we must ensure. Even I saw your governance establish something, is supposed to fund a project called Garissa's Farmers Training Center or something like that, Mr. Speaker. We must ensure that we bring cooperatives into this, and this will be the work of Commissioner of Cooperative. Mr. Speaker, I think I agree also when you look at another clause, because I can see my time is fast spent. The Director of Cooperatives for Counties, I agree, but I'm happy that you have given a word of intergovernmental, so that we have that relationship between the Cooperative Commissioner in Nairobi and 47 county directors, so that we don't undermine. Mr. Speaker, you know the biggest threat to devolution in clawback clauses. And we are seeing this legislation that is being sponsored by National Assembly, that they want to claw back some of the devolved function, like health, like cooperatives, Mr. Speaker. We need to be very careful as a Senate, Mr. Speaker. The price of democracy is eternal vigilance. We must be vigilant, Mr. Speaker. We must be vigilant. And that is why there is a saying, Senator Okongo, that when you smell a stew from your neighbor and your goat has disappeared, you become suspicious of your neighbor. So we need to be careful what National Assembly wants to achieve, Mr. Speaker, because they are slowly taking the functions of counties and transferring and telling us, you know, NGCDF has done much more than counties. Mr. Speaker, they say before you kill a dog, you give it a bad name. There is corruption everywhere. I want to challenge National Assembly, if they have bowls of steels, sorry, Mr. Speaker, if they have courage, they should oversight their work of national government. There is so much corruption everywhere. What we should be calling out is EACC. But I pity and empathize with Garissa County, because unfortunately the CEO of EACC comes from Garissa. I don't know whether he will be conflicted, whether he can take action against the county government of Garissa, but that is a story of another day, Mr. Speaker. The final point I wanted to make is on the structure of cooperative. I'm happy there is producer cooperative, that is will enclave farmers. I have OAB, the one I have a farmers of Mr. Kosge, I'm forgetting the name, who comes from Nandils. Mr. Speaker, they have their own tea factory. They have even built a building, Siret, it's called Siret. They have even a building in Nandils town. And when you visit Nandi, I know your dad used to know Nandi, and he was a PC and he knows Nandi very well. And we went with him during my state of address at Nandi County Assembly. They have a huge building, courtesy of Siret OAP. This is what we call producer. But the danger is the government did not give them exception of VAT. And these are small scale older farmers, Mr. Speaker. Let us avoid giving tax exemptions to who is who and give small farmers. I'm happy there is the savings and credit. We must check out the Watu credit. Kenya Women, Mr. Speaker. There is a famous savings and credit society called Kenya Women. In fact, I want to advise senators, be careful on the loan your wife takes. Because if your wife takes Kenya Women loan and they don't pay, Kenya Women will come with police and take your sofa set, they will take your beddings, they will take the TV, they will take cows. There is hue and cry in villages in Nandi. Because of Kenya Women, the wives go and take loan, Mr. Speaker, and they don't refund. Mr. Speaker, with those many remarks, I beg to support, and I'll bring amendments at the committee stage. I thank you for the indulgence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Godfrey Ososi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this important opportunity to also make my valued comments on the cooperative bill, National Assembly bill. Mr. Speaker, cooperative movement, as my colleagues have said, is a very important sector in our economy. Mr. Speaker, if you look at the figures from the economy, then you realize the importance of cooperatives in our economy. Because, Mr. Speaker, 63% of Kenyans depend on cooperatives. That is more than half of the population of Kenya depends on cooperatives, either directly or indirectly through members of the cooperative and their dependents, or through the programs they do in the society. So 63%, and I believe this number will likely go up as we continue to improve the status of cooperatives in this country. Mr. Speaker, our GDP, the gross domestic product of Kenya, 45% of it is from cooperatives. This is huge, and therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is a sector that is very significant to our economy. Mr. Speaker, we are talking about an asset base for cooperative of 1 trillion shillings. This is just nearly half of our national budget, Mr. Speaker. This is a huge amount of money. Mr. Speaker, 30% of our national savings, 30% of our national savings are all coming from cooperatives. These figures, Mr. Speaker, clearly indicates that this sector is very, very, very important sector in our economy, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know the popular session paper number 10 of 1965 that many of us have been referring to, talked about African socialism, where they were seeking to Africanize the economy. And one of the tools they used to Africanize the economy was through the cooperative movement. So you can see that even our forefathers had a very good vision of what cooperatives could do to our economy. Mr. Speaker, having given a good picture of what cooperatives can do to our economy, including even having a loan portfolio of 700 billion shillings, the money that cooperatives have lent out to Kenyans. there is other issues that we need to look at. Mr. Speaker, Kenya has been ranked very highly in cooperative movement, being ranked as a top country in Africa and among the top 10 in the world. But that ranking has been going down, Mr. Speaker, and something has to be done about it so that we maintain our position as a leader in the cooperative movement, not just in Africa, but globally. But that is retarding. It is going down. I am aware other countries are coming up very fast, especially West Africa countries, which are coming up to claim their space. Mr. Speaker, one of the negative things that have happened in this country when it comes to cooperative is the corruption and the stealing at Cusco. Mr. Speaker, as we are talking now, depositors are at risk of losing 6 billion shillings as a result of the stealing, the looting, and the corruption at Cusco, which is the apex cooperative in Kenya, where, according to Price Waterhouse, 6 billion shillings is not accounted for because of irregular and illegal withdrawals, illegal cash transfers, illegal dividends, and many other malpractices that happened. Mr. Speaker, what I fail to understand is that the report is there, but these people who have been involved in this fraud are still enjoying their ill-gotten wealth. And the police are dragging their feet. Many of the people who are victims of this fraud are teachers and civil servants who have lost their money in Cusco. Mr. Speaker, even as we pass this bill, I think we need to call out on the investigative agencies, on the police, to arrest the culprits involved in the looting and the stealing at Cusco. We cannot have a scenario where the apex cooperative in the country, which is supposed to be the key cog in the entire sector, becomes a target of thieves, of looters, and very little is done to protect the funds that have been invested in this Cusco. Mr. Speaker, even in Cusco, they say that these people were stealing upwards of 580 million annually for the last 10 years. And yet we have a regulator, Sasira. Where was Sasira? Where was Sasira all these years when all this was happening, Mr. Speaker? Didn't they see it? Did they participate? Were they conspirators in this fraud? I think a lot needs to be answered by not just the Cusco directors, but also the regulator. What did the regulator do to safeguard Kenyans' investment in Cusco? We have other circles, secondary circles, which have suffered. Stima Sacco, Muasibu, and others have suffered, lost a lot of money in Cusco, Mr. Speaker. And losing money means the SACCO members have also lost their money, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we cannot grow the cooperative movement if there are no proper systems in place to manage the apex cooperative. Mr. Speaker, having given that picture, when I look at this bill, I think this bill will help us deal with the challenges like what we have seen in Cusco and other SACCOs which have been mismanaged. We have had many SACCOs in this country which don't even give dividends, which even when you apply for a loan, Mr. Speaker, it will take ages for you to get your money, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this scenario, we are hoping that this bill, because it gives the mandate to the commissioner to regulate the cooperative, will help us deal with this problem. So, Mr. Speaker, this bill seeks to promote the cooperative movement in this country. It also provides a mechanism for registration of cooperatives. It also provides a mechanism for supervision of cooperatives, and most importantly, regulation of cooperatives. But I think, Mr. Speaker, what is not very clear to me when I go through this bill is how that regulation of cooperative at a global perspective is going to be aligned to regulation of savings and cooperative societies, the SACCOs, which are regulated by SASRA. So who is going to do what when it comes to SACCOs? Is it the cooperative commissioner or SASRA? I think that is where we are likely to have some conflict. I think moving forward, this is a matter that we need to discuss even as we go to the committee of the whole house, so that it is very clear who does what when it comes to regulation. Because SACCOs are just a category of cooperatives. Mr. Speaker, when we talk about intergovernmental relations, cooperative relations, where they are seeking to create a forum which will be headed by the Office of Commissioner of Cooperative, and we'll have all the 47 county directors of cooperative, among other people. I think that is a very good forum of ensuring that we have constant and sustainable engagement and consultation and dispute management, and that will help this country to manage the cooperative movement better. Mr. Speaker, this bill also provides a very good framework for promoting good governance and ethical conduct in cooperative. And this is one of the measures to try and deal with the challenges that we have seen in cooperative movement, challenges to do with looting, stealing, and corruption. But most importantly, this bill seeks to have a framework that is going to ensure that we have a sustainable and competitive cooperative sector in this country, which we have been lacking over the years. Mr. Speaker, it also provides a clear framework on how primary, secondary, and even federation, cooperative federations and apex cooperatives are going to interlink with each other, where the primary cooperative has a minimum of 20 members, and the secondary has 5 members minimum who are from the primary cooperative, and a federation has at least 2 secondary cooperative, and then we have the apex. That kind of structuring is important, because you saw Cusco was even competing with the ordinary cooperatives in their function. But I'm happy now the new CS for cooperative has come out very clearly to say their role will be limited to advisory, training, capacity building, and such, which should have been the case from the beginning. Mr. Speaker, one important thing that cooperative can contribute to this economy is in addressing the housing problem. Mr. Speaker, our government has a housing plan, which has ended up charging us on our payslip, the housing levy, which many of us are not happy with. But how I wish the government could put more effort in promoting housing cooperatives so that people can invest with the purpose of borrowing to build or to own a house. The scenario that we have now, Mr. Speaker, of being deducted money, which you don't know when you will own a house, it is a challenge. Let us develop housing cooperatives and empower them. Even the money that we are deducted from our payslip, let it go to the housing cooperative. Let it go and be managed there so that when I want a house, I will go there and borrow using the money that has been deducted from me and own a house. Because the cooperative movement is contributing about 500,000 houses a year, Mr. Speaker, which is 25% of our requirement for housing. Why can't the government invest in this housing cooperative? And maybe when this bill becomes law, I think it is a matter they need to reflect on it so that we have investment in housing cooperative. The money that is being deducted from salaried Kenyans will now be directed to housing cooperative so that people can access the money. Because right now, Mr. Speaker, we do not know how we are going to access our money. It's a tax. Let it be a fund which can be funded through cooperatives, and the people can recoup back their money and participate in economic development. Mr. Speaker, I want to join my colleague, Honorable Boni Khalwale, to say that the new CS for cooperative is doing a wonderful job. This is sector had been forgotten, but I see the kind of energy, the kind of hard work, the kind of attention from CS Oparanya is unmeasured. And these are the kind of cabinet secretaries we need in this country, Mr. Speaker. We need cabinet secretaries who will come to Parliament, answer questions properly, and go back to the office and deliver. Mr. Speaker, sometimes I even wonder why we call cabinet secretary and they come here, they answer our questions, we give feedback, and we will never see any change happening. Mr. Speaker, I know we are talking about cooperatives, but the cabinet secretary for labor was in this house, Mr. Speaker. And I raised an issue about a lady who had been killed in Saudi Arabia. Mr. Speaker, the cabinet secretary promised this house that he will give an answer in 1 week. It is now 2 months. Mr. Speaker, I have written a letter to you. I have not received any feedback. Meanwhile, the family of this deceased person is suffering. We want cabinet secretaries who will deliver like Oparanya, Mr. Speaker, who will deliver like Mbadi and others. And that's why us as a party, when we say we have taken our experts to the government, we can see our experts are working, led by Oparanya and Mbadi and the others. So we want to see our cabinet secretary delivering in their respective dockets so that the country can move forward in a better way. Mr. Speaker, with those very many remarks, I want to say that I have also seen an amendment which is saying that directors of cooperatives will be allowed to vie for only 2 terms. Mr. Speaker, I have seen contestation about that provision, where some people are saying that that provision should not be allowed because it is democracy, let people vie as many times as they wish. I think it's important that we have a term limit in the cooperative movement so that we don't have a scenario where one person has been a director of a cooperative. When I was in the university, he was a director of a cooperative. When I came to work and I became a member of that cooperative, I found a guy there. When I went into business, he was still there. When I became an MP, he was still there. I'm now a senator, the guy is still there. 30 years, Mr. Speaker. I'm not going to mention names, but if you walk around here, cooperative around this parliamentary presence, you can find out how long some of those directors have been there. Many years, Mr. Speaker. They should borrow a leave from us in Pakoso and Bunge Sako. We keep changing them after 1 or 2 terms. So the issue of a term limit is important. I know there is a lot of resistance, but I think it's important that we have a term limit so that we don't have a scenario where people are in office for life. So that we can have freshness, we can have new ideas injected into the cooperative movement. Mr. Speaker, with those few remarks, I support this bill.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Mugeni. Eric.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for giving me an opportunity to also make my contribution to the Cooperatives Bill 2024, a bill that was passed by the National Assembly on 3rd of December 2024. Mr. Speaker, you can see how good-mannered the Senate is. When we receive bills from the National Assembly and we know they are beneficial to our people, we process them without being mischievous, without being petty, without bringing the rivalry of the two houses into play, Mr. Speaker. And that's how it should be, Mr. Speaker. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, that I'm speaking after a very inspirational address that was made to senators today by the former Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga. And I think that speech was momentous because it was reminding us where we have come from and that we really need to guard our democracy. And this bill goes a long way in trying to demonstrate to our farmers that we want to give them the responsibility to manage their cooperatives, to see how they can lead their cooperatives to bring more income to the people that they lead, may it be farmers or traders. But Mr. Speaker, when I listened to the Prime Minister today, it also reminded me that if we are not careful, we could easily drift to the Kanu years of yesterday, of the years gone by. I remember, Mr. Speaker, when we were in secondary school, there's a time that a member of parliament from Central Kenya, Kiika Kimani, was expelled by Kanu because when school children sang a song for Kiika Kimani, they sang a song for President Moi, but put in a stance that purported to praise Kiika Kimani, and he was expelled by Kanu. Or when we were in Form 6, a story we were told by our history teacher, what befell Joseph Munyao, who was MP for Mboni in 1989. President Moi visited Mboni, and he mentioned the name of Mr. Munyao, who was then the MP. And Munyao made the mistake of not standing. And the following day, the Okiki Amayo committee summoned him, and by the close of business, he was expelled. Or the story we were told of Samuel Pogisho, who, Mr. Speaker, only spent four months in Parliament and was expelled simply because he was fighting for the rights of the Pokot, together with the Honorable Lotodo, the late Lotodo. So we really need to guard, Mr. Speaker, our democratic space. When we listen to very, very experienced leaders like Raila Odinga, it's really a reminder that we're here for a bigger call, Mr. Speaker, that we must guard our democracy, that the speeches we make here will be made reference to by future generation. When he told us that he made a speech when he was moving a motion, and all members of opposition walked out on him, but he didn't give up. He still pushed and pushed. So I'm really happy that I'm making my contribution to this bill on a day like this when we had that very inspirational address from the Prime Minister. Mr. Speaker, from where I come from, my county of Nyamira, my farmers basically survive from the goodwill of cooperative societies. Our tea farmers, and I believe even my good friend, my neighbor, Senator of Kericho, knows the contribution that the Chai Sacco cooperative society has made to farmers, despite a few teething problems here and there on mismanagement. The coffee farmers in North Mugirango, where we have Magwawa Cooperative Society, has been very beneficial to the coffee farmers. In West Mugirango, Nyamaya Cooperative Society has been very, very beneficial to coffee farmers. Visembe Cooperative Society in North Mugirango. In Borabu, Mr. Speaker, where I live, Borabu Cooperative Society used to be very vibrant. When I was a young kid, we used to deliver milk, and a cooperative society used to pay us in our local village in Tinderet. That is dying. I hope this bill will really rejuvenate these cooperative societies so that our farmers can be organized in groups that can have better bargaining power. Currently, Mr. Speaker, the most active cooperative society is Vision Point, led by a mzee I called my father, because he was my father's age mate, who has continued to provide leadership to the local farmers. He's called Mzee Menge. Maybe Senator Cheruiyot knows the mzee. He's been a very dedicated farmer, and he has been there trying to inspire farmers. He was there when the government was delivering the cooler machine. He actually mobilized me to assist the farmers to connect power and water for the cooler. Mzee Menge has made a lot of contribution in trying to ensure that farmers are organized and they deliver their produce in a manner that makes life easy for farmers. But the others, Mr. Speaker, who are still at the mercy of middlemen. If you drive from Nairobi, once you go past Nyansiongo, you will get women hawking bananas, hawking avocados at Ikonge market, at Keumbu, which is a shared market between Kisii and Nyamira County, Mr. Speaker. And I hope that the passage of this bill will assist those cadre of farmers to be organized in a way that they can have, the cooperative can do bulk purchases, try to do market survey and access, so that they aggregate their produce and sell when they have really a stronger power on the price. Because currently, Mr. Speaker, what happens is that middlemen from Nairobi buy our bananas at a throwaway price. We sell our avocados at throwaway price, Mr. Speaker. I hope that when this bill passes, there will be direct benefit to our farmers so that they are not exploited by middlemen. We want our bananas, Mr. Speaker, to be sold in bulk so that the person who is buying can go and do value addition, But this idea of buying one banana from one farmer or two bananas from one farmer, it doesn't really add value to the farmer because you sell away at thrown away prices. Mr. Speaker, farmers have faced many problems, including at times problems of mismanagement of our cooperative societies. I'm happy, Mr. Speaker, that this bill in the third schedule has created very, very serious offenses, including offenses that will make some people to be barred or to be disqualified from serving as members of cooperative societies. You have heard the sorry state of mismanagement at Cusco, so speak. And I read in the newspaper sometimes that you find one director in Cusco disappears with 20 million, money belonging to poor contributors, Mr. Speaker. And the problem with our justice, criminal justice system, is that you can steal from the poor and get away with it, Mr. Speaker. In other jurisdictions, if you steal public money and the law catches up with you, you will be consigned to poverty forever. But here, Mr. Speaker, somebody steals from poor Kenyans who have made contribution to our cooperative societies. The case drags in court forever, Mr. Speaker. And finally, when a conviction is made, you are told now there is no evidence. The case has been in court for too long. Some witnesses end up disappearing. That's not the way our justice system should be. I'm happy that we have also created offenses of misconduct or falsifying documents so that we bring discipline, Mr. Speaker, to these cooperative societies. And I wonder when people complain that they don't want to serve for 2 terms. For many years at the Law Society of Kenya, Mr. Speaker, every new chairman used to be told that you walk the story of George Washington. When George Washington became President of the United States of America, there was no term limit. There was no term limit. The 1789 Constitution, Mr. Speaker, American Constitution did not have term limit. But George Washington